Right now, there's some geek in the AEW chat watching the post-show scrum, thinking that I'm there trolling the chat. I'm right here, folks. The one and only is right here. I'm not over there. I was just there to type in the chat, telling everybody that it wasn't me, but I'm right here. Live! On YouTube, on X, on Twitch, to talk about Revolution. Revolution! With one of the worst pay-per-view endings in AEW history! What do you call that, man? What was that? Jesse and I are here. We're going to talk about what was a very good show tonight. Not the best Revolution. Not the best Revolution. Those days are long gone. Very good show tonight. Excellent pro wrestling tonight. Definitely some standouts. And you're not going to get it any better than right here tonight. The venue is open late. I got my cold beverage. I know you guys do as well. And when we get there on this Monday morning, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Revolution 2025 post-show. I am JD from New York, as always, joined by my co-host on Wednesday nights, the one and only Shot-Town Smart. Jesse is here with us on this early Monday morning as the venue is open after hours. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, bro. How you feel, man?
Man, I feel like I should have showed up on the stream in a crimson mask after tonight.
You don't say.
I feel like I'm underdressed for the stream tonight, man. I should be bloodied coming on live in front of everybody.
I feel sports entertained tonight, sir.
You feel sports entertained?
Yes, I do, man. I feel sports entertained tonight, man.
All right, listen.
I thought it was a damn good show. Damn good pay-per-view.
It was a very good show. AEW usually knocks it out of the park on pay-per-view. This is not a secret to anybody, nor should it be.
Yeah, man. Was it the best show ever? No.
No.
Did it have quirks and issues that we need to go over? Absolutely. But I'm not going to sit here, and this is to everybody in the chat, I'm not going to say, if you're here waiting for me, maybe this guy next to me, I don't know, but if you're sitting there waiting for me to just shit on the show because that's what you like, you're in for a bad night. I'm going to give you my honest opinion of the show. I'm going to tell you what I liked. I'm going to tell you what I disliked, but I'm not going to sit here and shit on the show because you like people shitting on AEW. You're on the wrong channel right now.
Now, we're not going to shit on the show, but we will be open and honest about the show like we usually are.
Absolutely. That's what we do, man.
I'm not paid to shit on the show by Paul Levesque or Brian, what's his name? Brian Road Dogg, right? I'm not paid by Bruce Pritchard. I'm not paid by any of these people to shit on AEW. We're going to be open and honest about it tonight.
Exactly.
All right.
Let's do it, bro.
Where do we even begin? I usually leave it to you, man. Where you want to start?
Ooh, man.
Top two takeaways tonight, man. We'll start with number one.
Number one for me, I thoroughly enjoyed everything that Toni Storm and Mariah May gave us tonight. I thought the overall feud was already good, and I think this is a damn good blow off for this match tonight. I feel like this was a groundbreaking. I thought this is one of Toni Storm's best performances overall in this feud and in this blow off match. I just felt like she solidified herself as easily the absolute top wrestler in AEW, and she's at the top of her fucking game, man. I can't deny it. She's killing the game right now.
She is. I enjoyed the match. I think people get overzealous when they usually say everything's the best ever. You know, all the new things, all the cool things that happened recently is like the best ever. Yeah. I hate that. I hate it when it comes to my music. A band releases a new album. Oh, it's the best ever. I mean, no one hate, man. You guys are aging. You haven't released an album in 15 years. It's not the best ever, man. Give me a fucking break. I don't like when people jump to, it's the best ever. It's not. What Jesse said is factually correct. Toni Storm in the women's division, in maybe the world, is the best female performer in the entire world right now. That includes Mercedes Moné. I'll say that right now up front. Because what Toni has done for the last 18 months is transcend as a character, and the character work has shown itself in leaps and bounds. She's done something that I wish a lot of people who run AEW would really take notice of and apply it elsewhere, because character development works. You see how fans are emotionally invested in what Toni Storm has created, and it just trickles down in everything that she does, from when she's on screen in the ring performing, when she's backstage cutting a promo, when she's in a vignette and she goes full-blown timeless. Everything is just there. Everything works, and the fans are emotionally invested. That also applies to what happens to Mariah, Jesse. When Mariah is working with someone who is operating on every aspect that you want, like Toni, a lot of what Mariah does is going to be looked at in that same way as well. And Mariah's work has been fucking great. I didn't know her from another blonde hole in the wall, honestly, before she came into AEW, and now she has solidified herself, honestly, number 2 in the company in every aspect, from in-ring to what she says and promo work, vignettes, the character work that we've seen from, you know, being a starstruck blonde at the start of this to becoming heartless and taking Toni Storm away from her, to then going and ending this feud as the one who's seeking blood and revenge and turns evil. Everything about this has been fucking great. Has it lasted a little bit longer than it really needed to? Sure. Did this match deliver on all fronts, and was this the blow-off that the feud needed? Absolutely. I love everything that they did. The only thing, and we've discussed this for a few weeks now, is where both women go. You know, my mind doesn't stop because this was a great match. It's like, where do we go now with Toni? She's done everything. She's been in the ring with everybody. Mariah, like you mentioned on Wednesday, does she take a small sabbatical? Does she go off television for a little bit, you know, out of the eyes of the public? You know, I don't know where she goes from this point on, but I thought what they did was fantastic. And I seen and heard the murmurs from the IWC this week about this match potentially ending the show. I fully agree that it should have ended the show, but not because of the feud that it was. More so after tonight, because of the match order on this particular show tonight. And I feel like it would have been the best blow-off for this show besides what we got tonight, man. And we'll definitely get into that. But I agree on all fronts. Toni Storm is fucking incredible.
Yeah, she is doing the best work of her entire career. There is no debating that at all. And I mean, it's like you said, she has brought Mariah May to a higher level. And even if she didn't bring her to a higher level, she brought her to a higher level in the eyes of the AEW fans. I'm not familiar with Mariah May's work before she entered AEW, but she became the absolute best opponent for Mariah, did Toni Storm. And it all played out well. Mariah got to show us her range. You don't get to have a phenomenal match like this and a phenomenal feud like this by yourself. So Mariah May absolutely held her own and then some. She brought the gimmick work. I mean, her in-ring work is a lot better than I gave it credit for originally. And I can admit that. I mean, it's not an issue at all. And I enjoyed everything these women did in this feud altogether. And I'm also with you. That should be the end. I don't want to see this anymore. Not that we got too much of it, but I would like this to be the end so we can, put a cap on it, put a ribbon on it, put it to the side and be done with it. If we keep going with this, then yes, it's going to start diminishing the work that they did before anything else that they do. But this was great. I thought they killed it. I thought the women set the tone for the night when everything else was just okay. Here and there, it was good. It was fine. But after the women went, after Toni Storm and Mariah May went, I think everyone else in that locker room said, we got to fucking go out there and up it. We can't go out there and then lackadaisically go out there and just follow that. We're going to get fucking shit on. They killed it. They killed it. They told everyone in the back without telling everyone in the back that they better come out there and bring their best shit. So I enjoyed everything they fucking did.
The match order on this card was fucking horrendous. And I want to get into that. I'm not using this, and please don't take me out of context, because I know some fucking idiot out there is going to take me out of context. The match order has nothing to do with how I felt about the overall show and the performances of each match. Okay? But the match order and a match order for a card can dictate how good a show actually is. And what they did tonight, clearly, management and whoever's in charge of this shit is fucking clueless. Now, I seen all of the murmurs and the discussion online about how Mariah and Toni should end the show. I didn't really think much of it, going into the show, because everybody's just in their feels and, Toni and Mariah got to end it because of so-and-so Hollywood ending and, the storyline and blah, blah, blah. I wasn't even getting into that discussion because, honestly, with what we got, they got a main event at Grand Slam in Australia. They didn't need this main event. But after looking at this, just based on the match order, Jesse, from everything that we got, and like you said, how the fuck do you follow that? We go from that to Kenny Omega, Konosuke Takeshita, and right into Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay in a fucking steel cage, and then Jon Moxley and Adam Copeland in the main event, which was fucking dead. The crowd was dead by the time we got there. This needs to be addressed and needs to be addressed ASAP, and someone needs to sit Tony Khan down. And whoever signs off on the finalization of this show or a show like this needs to have some sort of sit down with Tony, a heart-to-heart with Tony. I said tonight, because I didn't really know how the show was going to come off at 8 o'clock when we started this fucking show. MJF and Adam Page started the show. I said after the match was over at 8:25, MJF and Adam Page is the best way to start this show. It's the most important feud right now in all of AEW, and it's the one story right now that's going to take AEW to the next level, and they had a very good match. Who's talking about that match at the end of this night? Legitimately nobody. Number one, that's a fuck up. Number two, we got at least 4 or 5 different instances, Jesse, where we got plunder, blood, glass, thumbtacks, more blood on top of more blood on top of more blood, in a point where they did not let that type of spot rest before we saw it again. Toni and Mariah had one of the most brutal matches in AEW women's history, only for us to turn around legitimately an hour later and see Will Ospreay pour buckets 5 minutes into a steel cage match. What they should have done is have Fletcher and Osprey open the show and get all the plunder out of the way, have MJF and Adam Page, who had none of that in their match, in the middle of the show, and then end with Mariah and Toni Storm. So that way, all that you wanted to do would rest from one match into the MJF and Adam Page match, and then from that into the Toni Storm and Mariah match. By the time we got to the main event, who was even interested in what Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley had to tell us? Absolutely nobody. This show was so poorly put together as far as a match order. This might have been the worst AEW pay-per-view in that aspect alone. So they could have absolutely saved us from the overexposure and just the beating over the head of the blood and blood and blood and blood. That's my point. That's what I take away from that aspect of the show. I don't know how you feel about it, but less is more to me, Jesse. I've always thought that way.
I thought it was a fantastic pay-per-view. I thought everybody busted their fucking asses tonight. And I'm not going to sit and focus on the fucking match order as being the most important takeaway from the show. I'm not going to fucking do that tonight. I'm just not, bro.
You have absolutely nothing to add on top of what I said.
No, because the match order is the least of the most important things that happened tonight, man. The match order absolutely could have been better. But that's me diving straight into the fucking negative part of the show and, you know, and saving the good parts for last. I'm going to flip-flop that shit. It's not being negative, Jesse. It's the fact that they do something too much. That's a positive thing.
And then the impact of it is lessened every time that they do it.
That's a positive thing then.
No, it's not not to me. It's not a positive thing.
Negative thing then, right?
It's a negative thing, yes, but I mean, I want that
negative.
negative.
Said it wasn't a negative
I want
thing.
that. I'm not going to let that impact what I thought of the overall show, but I'm calling out the deficiencies of the show and the inconsistencies of the show before we actually do 90% of this podcast tonight in a positive manner.
No, the match order could absolutely have been better. I would have done it better. I would have done it differently. And we talked off the air, and I think you had a better match order to do. But
yes, I just gave it to you.
Yeah, the substance, everything else we got, I thought was a damn good fucking show. They could have made it a better show by spacing matches and putting matches in different positions. Absolutely. But look at the work that these fucking people put in there. I think they were conscious of what they were doing at points, because when you put the women on and then you give us Kenny Omega and then you give us, Will Ospreay and everything else, I think they were conscious of, okay, how can you follow that? Well, Kenny Omega and Kyle Fletcher can fucking follow anything, and they did. And then so forth. Will Ospreay, they can follow that shit as well. But then after that, can they follow those 3 matches? No, and it's a hard no. I mean, some matches fell flat. The order absolutely would have made the whole experience much better. But I don't think it was the biggest takeaway. So, I mean, I'm just like, I enjoy what the women pulled and what they did tonight, how they did it. I thought it was insane. I thought the spots, I thought the story they told was fan-fucking-tastic. Some people were online were like, oh, well, just because they bled, it was great. I never mentioned because they bled. I'm all about the story they fucking told and how they fucking told it. I thought it was fucking fantastic.
I just want them to bleed less. That's all I want.
I mean, it's a blow-off. It's a blood feud.
It is a blow-off. Toni Storm and Mariah deserved that type of blow-off. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher inside a steel cage? Sure. But did that match even need to be in a steel cage? No. No, it did not. The feud did not warrant a steel cage match.
Which one? The one that was a steel cage match.
The one that was a steel cage match, yes.
The one that was a steel cage match.
Yes. That's all I'm asking. I want them to bleed less.
Kyle Fletcher and...
That did not belong in a steel cage.
No? Was this their blow-off?
This was their last match. This was their third match, I believe. They wrestled at Full Gear, they wrestled at World's End, and then this is the final match.
Oh, okay. I mean, it seems like this is far from their first encounter, and they've been at it a few times, and they've.
I guess. I guess. We'll get into it for sure. I mean, the sickos love the blood. I mean, they do it every fucking show, so it's like the impact of it is not there for me. That's all I'm saying.
It feels like too many people see blood and instantly take that as a negative thing. Right.
You can't win though. We sat here in September and we loved everything that Swerve and Hangman did because it needed it. Did every fucking match need it tonight? That's all I'm saying.
No, not every match on the card. Never all. I mean, how many we got with blood tonight? What was it? 2?
3?
3? Was it? I thought it was 2.
Somebody else bled. I think one MJF or Adam Page bled, didn't they? I think MJF bled. A little bit.
I don't even remember.
It was 3 matches that had color in it. Yes.
Chat, did MJF bleed?
MJF bled.
Did he? Okay. All right, and that opened the show.
Yes. It wasn't excessive. It was definitely
incidental.
It might have been, yes, but there was color there, yeah.
If it was incidental, then I mean, I'm not gonna count that. It happens. If it wasn't on purpose, if you bladed, then yes, then there's color on the match. Incidental, then I'm not gonna. Oh wait, MJF had a busted lip, and then he bled. Then he bladed, didn't he?
I don't know. Maybe I thought it was on his forehead.
Yeah, I think he bladed after he got, because he got incidental, and I think he bladed after that. I kind of forgot because it was earlier on in the fucking night. You know, I mean, I think too many people see blood and then right away they take that as something that's a critique. I mean, and usually those are WWE shills because WWE doesn't do blood very often at all.
No, they use it in the right way though.
When they see it in AEW, they start fucking panicking and crying about it.
Nobody panics. They just want to see less of it so that when we see it, it actually means something.
I told somebody earlier, I feel like if we got a steel cage match with 2 guys in a blood feud and they didn't bleed at all, people would complain.
Well, I mean, it depends on who it is. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk had a Hell in a Cell. You saw blood instantly there because the environment calls for it. Steel cage match on Monday. I'm assuming it's Punk involved. He's going to bleed.
Punk bleeds a lot?
When it counts, yes.
It's some matches. I mean, you have a falls count anywhere match. Blood is kind of anticipated, kind of assumed with the women. Falls count anywhere, anything goes. You get no blood at all. Steel cage match. Of course, there's gonna be some fucking blood.
All right.
If you had to omit some blood, then MJF and Hangman could have omitted all of their fucking color. Then
I know. Listen, I agree with what you're saying. Just space it the fuck out.
Yeah. No.
What I'm talking about. I don't want to see the same spot fucking an hour after I just saw it because it means nothing. That's my point. That's why I said Fletcher and Osprey should have opened the show. And then Mariah and Toni should have ended the show. At least you would have had 4 hours in between the same fucking spots.
Yeah, no.
That's all I'm saying. An overabundance of something is too much. You know, I have a 3 coffee limit during the day. I start having 4 cups of coffee, then it's not the same to me anymore. The 4th cup is not the same as the 2nd cup or the 1st cup. I have pizza 7 nights a week. First night of the week is great. By fucking night 5, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, man, I have something else. It's just overexposure. That's all I'm saying. That's why I do feel the match order could have been better. I'm not letting it take away anything from the show, which we're going to get into, but that's all I'm saying. All right, Toni and Mariah. That was the best thing in your eyes on this show. What else did you take away from tonight as far as what you saw out there? My personal favorite match of the entire night, I'd probably have to give it to Ricochet and Swerve.
Ricochet and Swerve killed it, man.
Yeah.
They told a fantastic story. And you know what? The chemistry with these guys has been good from the word go with this feud. You know, I like how they gave us a little side story. You know, Swerve and Ricochet already had their fucking issues. Then they gave us a little B plot with the robe with Nana. Nana got pissed and said, my robe has been fucking stolen and it is the least of your fucking concerns. You don't get it back, I'm out. And I thought Nana turned his back on him in the match. Turns out he didn't, and that was a fucking ploy. And then when Swerve won and got Nana his fucking robe back, you know, it felt like just the repayment. Like, hey, you've been holding me down. You're out here doing this ridiculous fucking dance to put me over. You're out here fucking, you know, speaking for me and on my behalf. Here's your fucking robe back, sir. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just thought that was a nice little form of respect, a nice little form of, hey, I appreciate what you do for me. I said I go out there and take care of it for you, and here it is. And it was a nice little wrap up to a story right there. Do they continue this story after this, though, is what I'm wondering.
I don't know. As far as what they do, it's the blow off. I mean, Nana got his thing back, his jacket back, and Swerve is now moving on to the World Championship. They'll probably cross paths at some point later in the year, is what I assume. But I remember what you said on Wednesday. I got what you were saying, but I just wish they put more time into telling us how important the jacket was outside of maybe 2 weeks leading into this match. You mentioned that the jacket, the Nana jacket, was an emotional aspect to the show. I want to sit here and Jesse, listen, Jesse and I might disagree, you know, like we have already disagreed tonight. I will agree with what he said on Wednesday, and I want to apply it here to everything that I've just mentioned on the show. You know, I look at pro wrestling in a different way. Jesse looks at pro wrestling in a certain way. The fucking 3,000 people that are in here right now, plus, look at pro wrestling in their own way. I don't like the blood. I don't. I don't like it too much. I don't mind it. I like it when it matters most. When it's needed, then we do it. Not every fucking match. To me, they think blood is emotion. They think, oh my God, look at all the blood. Look at all this is the payoff that everybody wants. We got to add blood and plunder and fucking thumbtacks and tables and all this other nonsense. We see it so much. Look at the reaction, Jesse, that the fucking jacket got at the end of the match when Nana started dancing with it. That is what I'm here for. That is the emotion that I'm here for. That match didn't need anything. It had emotion. It had physicality. It had two guys that have a problem with each other, that want to beat the shit out of each other. We didn't see any fucking blood. And we got the crowd to stand up and give these guys a standing ovation with none of that off of a fucking jacket. That's what I'm here for. That was the best. Exactly. That was the best part of the entire show for me, bar none, that moment, because it was the most real that the fucking company was showcased tonight, outside of all the fucking typical garbage that falls on deaf ears because we see it so much. That moment tonight stood on its own as the best moment of the night.
It was a feel good moment. It did. You absolutely right. It felt so good. It for a second. At the end of it, it made us forget these two just beat the shit out of each other, and it told us why they beat the shit out of each other. So coming into it, we're like, oh, these guys are gonna fight. Why? And then we start getting into it, and then there's their issues, and then there's this fucking robe and everything like that. Then the match is over, and then I'm gonna give you your robe back, you know, just like I said I would, like you asked me to. And it's a great story being told. Now, going forward, if Nana were ever to turn on Swerve, that emotion that we just got tonight with Swerve giving him his fucking robe back, that emotion transfers into a turn. Like, how can you fucking turn your back on this guy? He went and did this for you and did that for you. That emotion carries over into the next storyline if they should choose to go that route. So it all connects if you tell the correct story going forward.
Silence is on fire in the chat. Says JD didn't watch wrestling from the early 2000s. Then why are you telling me something that is irrefutably false? I don't know. You think you could come on in here and spew these fucking illogical lies? I've been watching wrestling since 1985. Who the fuck are you to come into my chat and tell me when I've been starting to watch wrestling? I don't understand you. Yeah, in the early 2000s, I enjoyed it when I was in fucking high school. Now, as a 43-year-old man doing this shit in front of this type of audience, my tastes changed. My musical tastes changed when I was in high school. Cannibal Corpse, fucking death metal, thrash metal. Now I'm a little bit more low-key. I'll listen to a little bit of everything. I like a nice fucking chorus. I'm more now into radio rock than I was in the fucking high school days. Your tastes change. You see things from a different lens now than you did then. It's a different era now. That's all I'm saying.
I think people come here to hear what someone else thinks about something. And if it doesn't vibe with what they think, they get offended. They started typing stupid shit in this chat. They think just because someone doesn't think exactly the way that they fucking think, that they're stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. That's why you're watching me and I'm not fucking watching you.
Bro, I tape traded ECW VHSs back in freshman year of high school. Who the fuck are you to tell me when I started watching wrestling? Get them the fuck out. Get them out. This is a fucking platform for proper discussion. That's why the disclaimer goes up at the beginning of all these AEW shows, because this fucking fan base can't take any type of criticism. I'm not holding myself back for fucking you people who don't understand a fucking thing. You watch and everything is great. That's why I got him here to fucking reel me in and sometimes give it to me like I need it. That's it. That's why he's here. It's all right to disagree.
People that agree with each other and hold each other's hands, go turn the Fightful. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't want Jesse to agree with me on everything. I don't. And if you don't like the way he comes off because he doesn't agree with everything I say, you can kindly get the fuck out of here. That's what I took away from the show. My points are my points, and his points are his points. Simple. Fucking break, man. You people already pissed me off. We're not even fucking into the review yet.
They're just so fucking entitled assholes if someone doesn't like what they like. You want a world where everybody likes what you like. What the fuck are you here for? Maybe you missed a point. Maybe you didn't think about it in a certain way. And if you did and you heard what we have to say and you still don't agree, there's nothing wrong with saying, oh, okay, I see where you're coming from, but I just don't think that's the fucking case for me and what I like. Fair enough. Fist fucking bump and move on with life. You're fucking stupid. You don't know what you're talking about because you don't think what I think. The fuck out of here, man. What is wrong with people?
According to this chat and these people that are in here just simply to hate watch, everything that I say, I can't say. Like, I can't be critical of the fucking show. I can't call out the negatives on what was an overly good show. I mean, if I don't sit here and say that's the greatest Revolution pay-per-view of all time, I'm labeled fucking public enemy number one. I need to be crucified in front of a public audience.
Yeah.
Holy fucking shit, people.
Yeah. They only want to hear negativity. You are a negative asshole. Go somewhere else. If you are here looking for only negativity and you know who you are, most of you are sitting here saying, I'm not here for negativity. I want to hear what you guys think about the show. We love you. Thank you. Now, for the handful of people who are just here for the negativity, they got pissed off when I started the show by saying, I'm not just going to give you straight negativity. I'm going to give you what I thought about the show.
The Culture 434 in the chat, bro. Just review the show already. Get him the fuck out, Hooligram. I'm not taking any bullshit. To get him the fuck out. You're in my chat telling me what to do on my time. I'm here at 1:00 in the morning with this guy. It's almost 12:30 by him, and you're telling me what to fucking do. I'm here for you people. The fuck out. Get him out. Get him out.
My kids are sleeping in the room next to me. My wife is awake. I could be spending this time with my wife. I am here hanging out, talking pro wrestling with my fucking friend because he values my opinion and I value his. You guys are here to hear what we think, not to tell us what you think and to tell us we're wrong about what we think. The fuck is wrong with you guys?
We're going to get into the review now, Culture, but thanks for coming, bro. Now you can't chat. We're going to get into the review. We're going to talk Moxley and Copeland, which was the worst ending to a fucking pay-per-view that AEW's ever done, and someone needs to have a heart-to-heart with Tony Khan, bro. I don't know who it needs to come from. I don't know where it's coming from, but this main event scene is the legit worst that it's ever been in the company history. I'm sorry. I pray on everything that is holy to every god that exists above me. Swerve needs to win this championship at Dynasty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's it. We'll talk about that.
We lost the Christian Cage X Factor of a potential cash-in tonight. That's gone. So
awful.
It's Swerve or bust at this point.
Awful. I don't know who needs to talk to him, but something needs to be done. I don't know if he's just letting Moxley run amok. I don't know if he's letting Moxley book this shit, making his own creative decisions. The fact that Copeland did not even take a pinfall or a submission loss in this is even laughable. You know, we need to start opening up the discussion that Adam Copeland is in AEW. He hasn't done anything to help anybody on screen. Zero. You go look at his win-loss record. Who exactly is he putting over? Go look at it. It'll fucking shock you.
Yeah, that's messed up.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about MJF and Adam Page. Surprised at the outcome there. We'll talk about Ricochet and Swerve. We'll talk about Takeshita and Kenny Omega. Okada was on the show tonight. Forgotten. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Okada. Holy shit. All in all, Revolution was a thumbs-up show. It wasn't their best Revolution show by far. If I was to grade it just against last year's show, it doesn't even come close. I'm sorry.
Chicago was pretty good. The first one.
Oh, yeah. Those are just classic shows. I mean... But we'll get into it, guys. I thank you for joining us. We got 3,300 people in here, and we got easily another 1,000 on X. Thank you guys very much for all the support. Follow us on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel. There's plenty of it. Brand new week starting up tomorrow. We'll be live for Monday Night Raw. CM Punk and Seth Rollins at Madison Square Garden inside a steel cage, with the rumor of Roman Reigns finally returning to television, so that should be a big night tomorrow. Tuesday Night Titans is going to rock and roll on Tuesday nights as well with Solid Monster, so get ready for that. And then Jesse and I will be back live with you again on Wednesday for the follow-up show on Wednesday's Dynamite, everything that happened tonight. Make sure you guys go follow Jesse as well at Chi-Town Smark on YouTube and on X. And please make sure you guys get those super chats, and it's the best way to support the show. We'll hang out at the end of this podcast to read through them all. Thumbs up would be appreciated, and a comment down below will help us out tremendously in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys for that. Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
I have a few people that I want to give personal shout outs to. So I did a previews and prediction stream earlier tonight.
Yeah.
Well, before the pay-per-view started. This evening started off because my guy Josh, I want to shout out Josh. Josh has paid for every AEW pay-per-view that I have seen, and he's just offered me his personal credentials and logins to make sure that I'm able to watch it. And he's expected nothing in return. And so I want to shout out Josh. This particular show, Josh was unable to get the pay-per-view for his own personal reasons. And I brought that up in my live stream. And quite a few people has stepped up and jumped up and made sure I was able to watch the show and cover it here. David, you know who you are. I'm not going to throw your last name out there in case you don't want it. David, thank you so much. He offered. Jeff, one of my mods, he offered. Robert offered. Kyle offered. Jacob offered. Jacob was amazing. Jacob sent me cash straight to my PayPal. To pay for it myself. I ended up using someone else's credentials, and I will use Jacob's generous donation and other ways so I could use the money myself. I want to thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I sincerely do.
OTS family has some of the best VIPs and some of the best people in its community, so I'm going to give every one of those gentlemen a round of applause and a holy shit.
Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much for all the support as we start this AEW Revolution 2025 post-show. We'll start and we'll breeze through this pre-show because I did watch the pre-show. I took a nice 2-hour nap and had 3 coffees during this show because I did not caffeinate myself during the day. I made myself a nice cortado. I made myself some iced coffee, some homemade cold brew, and I made myself a latte, double shot latte. So we had some nice espresso during this show, and I woke up, and the pre-show was as follows. Commander and Hologram with Alex Abrahantes. They defeated Blake Christian and our guy Lee Johnson, Big Shotty. Listen, Jesse, Lee Johnson looks like he's getting there, man. He's like, I watched this match just basically for him because I don't really give a shit about anybody else because I know Lee's a fan of the show. He's putting himself together, man. He looks great.
I want to see more Lee Johnson on television, man. You have so many factions going on and so many people who have no interest at all. Give our guy Big Shotty a fucking shot at something, man. He'll fucking knock it out of the park. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. But give him the fucking shot. Let him do what he does, bro.
Yep. So we got the Luchadors, Commander Hologram getting the win over Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. Danny Garcia, I mean, as irrelevant as they come, the TNT Championship. And Undisputed Kingdom Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong defeated Shane Taylor Promotions with Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, Charlie Bravo, and Sean Dean. I said this on social media, Jesse. The downfall of Adam Cole seriously needs to be studied across universities in the United States, man. This guy went from main eventing All In at Wembley Stadium with MJF in a top-tier, S-tier main event match at the time to the pre-show with fucking Ring of Honor talent, man. Where the fuck did we go wrong here?
It's bad.
It's pretty bad.
So bad. And we're both on record saying for the last few weeks, what are we doing with Adam Cole? Again, in case you missed the part, we just realized Adam Cole has not won a singles title in AEW, period. He's going on 4 years. That is criminal.
Yeah.
What the, how? Not one. And commentary is pointing it out. I'm like, my God, you're just telling us how bad you are creatively. What the fuck?
JD from NY 206. MJF worked the pre-show. It doesn't matter, man. Everybody does it.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah?
Kenny Omega has worked the pre-show as well.
That doesn't mean it's right.
Nope.
It doesn't mean it's right.
That means you made multiple bad decisions instead of just one.
What the fuck are we doing, man? Adam Cole looks to be putting himself together too. It looks like he's been hitting the gym. And I want to hit this guy up here, man. I want to read this from one of the troll accounts, the tribalist accounts here on X. This goes out to Slick 2009, motherfucker. He says accounts like JD commenting on Adam Cole's role in AEW. Weren't you the same people that spent a year shitting on him, his physique and ability, and saying he shouldn't be main eventing in AEW? I never said that in any aspect on any show ever. And I've never mentioned Adam Cole's physique and how everybody else made fun of him like the IWC has ever. So, again, tribalist accounts lying through the skin of their teeth. Yes. I love Adam Cole. And I want nothing but the best for Adam Cole. I've been on the Adam Cole fucking train for many, many, many years, man. Go back to the days of Black and Gold when he ran Undisputed Era and ran that fucking show for 3 years. Adam Cole in AEW is an embarrassment.
For it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam Cole in AEW is an embarrassment, and this creative team should be fucking embarrassed at the handling of Adam. I'm not even talking about everybody else in the group. Adam Cole specifically is a main event guy, and you've tarnished him to a point where on your show, I simply don't give a shit. It's awful.
They brought in Adam Cole. Both of us marked the fuck out. We were live. I was live in the tent. Weren't you there with me?
Yes.
We were live in attendance when Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson debuted.
Yes, I was in the building.
I mean, loved it. Been putting them over. You got Adam Cole. Let's see this. Let's see that. Had spit some ideas. We loved it. You know, and then when we put him over, people complained and said we were stupid and full of shit because Adam Cole was nothing and he shouldn't be this. And now we say that Adam Cole is being misused and then we get called stupid for that. I don't understand some people. That's why some of you are probably looking at me right now saying, what the fuck is wrong with Jesse tonight? Because these people keep coming at us just like this. The stupidity. They've been watching us for 1 week. They missed 4 or 5 years of the other shit we've been saying and they think they know us entirely. Oh, you just think this. You're just here for engagement. You're just here for this. You only like this. We have gone into great detail. And even me with my CM Punk fucking issues, you only hate Punk because he left AEW. I have gone into great fucking detail telling everyone exactly why we are unhappy with the Adam Cole's treatment. That I don't like CM Punk. And it's not like I just sit and blindly say it. We give in great detail as to why we don't. And then people come in here and say, oh, well, you just do it just because of this. Tell us you don't know what the fuck you're talking about without telling us that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Adam Cole was a god in Black and Gold, and you don't expect me to call out his fucking absolutely horrendous booking in AEW? I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Would you rather me just remain silent because he's all elite and I'm not allowed to say anything? How do you look back at this man's fucking body of work and then look at him now and not have a problem with the way he's being booked? I don't understand
Criminal.
And the TNT title is an absolute waste of everybody's time. I don't know why it's even a thing. It's on the fucking pre-show. The guy hasn't defended. When was the last time he defended it? Against Lee Moriarty? On Saturday? Holy shit. The fuck are we doing? They showed the ops during this segment, or during this match, with Joe, Shibata, and Hook watching this match. If they don't enlist Danny Garcia ASAP, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. He'd fit great in that group. Joe would give him the legitimacy that he sorely needs. So hopefully that is where they're going with that. I
think the whole situation with Danny Garcia, it just looks worse because of how much Tony Khan argued with you about Danny Garcia.
Oh yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when I said nobody cares about Danny Garcia, and then Tony Khan was all up in his feels on a fucking Saturday night at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to prove me wrong? In fact, it was Tony Khan who doesn't give a shit about Danny Garcia, and I was proven correct once again. So there you go. I'm glad you brought that up, Jesse.
I mean, he did. He backed and defended the signing and everything else. I mean, as one should. He didn't have to. He could have said nothing, to be honest with you. But he's trying to and now prove how great he is, and it's just falling flat. It's just not working, man.
No, it's not working at all. The guy simply took a fucking paycheck, and Tony offered him a bunch of money to sign a contract, so he simply doesn't go to NXT. We all know. I want
to make this clear. Daniel Garcia can fucking wrestle, and I'm on record saying that from day one.
He's a great wrestler.
He can fucking work, man. He can go in the ring, but this gimmick that he's on and what he's doing on television, it's not working. It's just not getting over. You got to go back to the fucking drawing board.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler. That has nothing to do with it. The fact that the TNT title is absolutely fucking irrelevant, that's our problem right there. And so is Adam Cole. They win, and they beat these Ring of Honor jobbers. No, nothing missed here if you missed the pre-show.
Wait, Dwayne got something to say, bro.
Dwayne Jackson. Oh my goodness, we got a Dwayne Jackson sighting in the chat. Our guy Dwayne Jackson with a $100 super chat. He simply asks, what happened to the TNT title? Dwayne, I'd like to know the answer to that question as well.
Yeah,
we don't know.
It's a great question, bro.
Nice to see you, Dwayne. Thank you for showing up here on this very early Monday morning as we roll through this Revolution post show here on YouTube and live on X. Yes. Jericho, he went one-on-one with Gravity. Never took place. Jericho removed Gravity's mask. Gravity's mother and sister were seated at ringside and got in to protect Gravity along with Bandito. And the match never got underway, Jesse.
Wait. So, I missed this show. I missed the pre-show, okay? And someone tweeted me something about what did I think about Chris Jericho's match with Gravity.
Who?
I thought they were being assholes.
Did you ask who? Gravity? What?
No, I thought he was I thought he was talking about Gravity and age and like how everything, you know.
Oh.
I didn't know it was an actual match with someone. You got to be kidding me. Really?
The guy's name was actually Gravity, yes. Yes.
Bro, if
another childhood creation of the boss man, Tony Khan. Absolutely.
If that's not a hidden sublime, I don't know what the fuck to think, man. He put Jericho in a match against Gravity. Oh my God. That just really.
I don't know. I thought the pre-shows were used to enhance the overall show and get people who were tuning in for the first time to actually want to buy the show. I thought that's what they used for. Clearly, this was not. I don't know what the fuck this is and who this caters to, but Tony Khan was, I'm sure, jumping around like a mark backstage because Gravity was wrestling on the pre-show. Oh, man, I got Gravity, Commander, and Hologram on the same show, man. Oh, my goodness.
I thought it was fucking hyperbole. I didn't think he was actually in a match with someone named Gravity, man.
This shit's, I don't know. I don't know who this caters to. These pre-shows are fucking awful. I get why they do them, but they're nothing but it's like sub-Ring of Honor on here. Like, who gives a shit about this? Big Boom AJ, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe with Big Justice and the Rizzler defeated MXM Collection and Johnny TV.
So I tuned in for this. So
I'm sorry.
The little me too. So the little kid is the Rizzler. So there's another kid.
Yes, there's 2 kids. I don't think that's Big Boom AJ's son, though. I think that's like a friend of the family.
Wait, he's traveling around the world with someone else's kid feeding them cookies.
He's traveling around the United States with someone else's kid, and he's promoting obesity, yes. Yes.
Has anyone called the cops yet?
I don't know, but they are absolutely government plants. Absolutely. They can't be a real family. I mean, they're so cringe. I won't even put them as fucking human beings on this earth, honestly.
Oh, my God. That's not even his kid.
No, it's not. The Rizzler is not his child, no.
What the fuck, man?
Well, yes, both children are heavily obese, yes.
Man, stop giving these kids cookies, man.
People in the IWC call me fat. Like, where do you see any fat on me?
Bro, look, man.
JD's a fat slob, man. JD from NY 206. What?
I get fucking called fat. I mean, come on, man.
What are you talking about?
There's a grown man going around to different Costco's and apparently wrestling pay-per-views, giving someone else's kids cookies. And no one has raised a red flag to this.
No, they have not.
Okay. Right on.
This match, I don't know, man. The commentary team did anything but call this wrestling match. They were joking around. They were having a good time. The children even had a bite of a double chocolate chunk cookie on the outside during this match. So Big Boom AJ, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe win. This was comedy to the umpteenth degree here. And Big Boom AJ, I believe, has his 2-match contract now finished after that debacle where he was shown on TikTok opening up baseball cards with his son, Big Justice, wearing a WWE Championship replica title over his shoulder. I think Tony Khan just wanted to be done with this partnership. Goodbye. Out of AEW they go, and I'm sure he'll be begging for a WWE spot any week now.
Wait, how do you know they're done with AEW? Are they done?
I would hope so. Yeah, I heard that it's a 2. I don't know for sure, but I heard that it was a 2-match deal for Big Boom AJ.
Because don't get me excited, man, to think they're gone for good and they fucking show up in another week. I mean, are they done?
I hope so. I can't tell you for sure. I can't make any promises.
Oh, God damn it. My daughter was in the room watching this match and she's heard of them on TikTok. My daughter's 15. And she could not stop laughing her fucking ass off that these guys were in AEW right now. And I'm just listening to her.
It is not. It's not for us, bro.
Oh my God.
It is definitely for your 15-year-old daughter. Yeah.
My God. She thought it was hilarious. She did not find it entertaining at all. She felt bad for me that I had to sit and watch these guys in a match as these kids shove cookies in their fucking...
The Rizzler was out there dressed as Orange Cassidy. We got celebrity appearances here from Adam Devine and Tony Cavallero from the Righteous Gemstones. I believe it's a Mac show. I have no fucking idea who these people are. There was a overabundance of celebrity appearances very blatantly on this show. And AEW, and I'm going to say this, and this is a negative here. I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to give you a negative. This was blatantly done because AEW needs to come off as cool. And they're in Los Angeles, and they want to show all the D-list celebrities sitting ringside, and they focused on them pretty heavily on this show, all because WWE showed Drake sitting front row. They didn't really acknowledge him on air and on camera, but he was sitting there front row at the Elimination Chamber, and he's been a big pro wrestling fan for a while. But AEW felt like they needed to just go above and beyond. Look at all the celebrities that love AEW. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know, fucking out of Ken Jeong, that's all I knew. That's all I knew on this show. They just blatantly put it in your face. Oh, look at us. We're cool.
I know of Leslie Jones.
Yeah, me too. She's I don't know what she does, but I know of her.
She was on SNL. I know her from Saturday Night Live.
She's not funny.
O'Shea said that WWE will approach you and ask you if you would like to be featured on television. And if you say no, then they won't. If you say yes, then clearly they will. He's been featured on there, numerous times. But Drake not being featured on the show, it could have been one of two things. It could have been that he declined to be featured on TV, or it could have been they said they didn't want to offer him and didn't even ask him. We don't know. But we all saw Drake there. Logan Paul made a gesture to Drake while in the cage and everything like that. And that is why AEW immediately started reaching out to Kendrick just to be in pop culture and or some shit. But yeah, I agree. It did come off as just reaching for desperate attention. I agree.
Yeah, you don't really see celebrities outwardly admit that they're fans of professional wrestling outside of Danielle Fishel from Boy Meets World. That's it. Or fucking Kevin from Home Alone. So Macaulay Culkin. That's it. That's it. I mean, those are the usuals. But this was blatant and just fucking overly cringe for AEW to do that. I noticed that immediately. So yeah, Big Boom, AJ Orange, Cassidy, Mark Briscoe win. That was the last of the pre-show before we actually got to the main card. It was Adam Page and MJF opening the show. And I was actually happy that this opened the show because this is the most important thing in AEW right now. Storyline-wise, I've said that for weeks. And the way you open a show is just as important as the way you end it. And I thought that this was a good move. But looking back after everything had finally transpired tonight, this probably would have been best served in the middle of the show. And then the show should have started off with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay inside the steel cage match, just seeing how much plunder and violence and blood that we got tonight. But regardless of that fact, the body of work here, Jesse, from MJF and Adam Page was very good. They didn't give you too much. They didn't give you too little. It was right in the sweet spot. I know we're probably going to continue this into a second match, possibly a third match. The only thing that I was genuinely surprised by here is the fact that MJF lost, because I feel like MJF on pay-per-view hasn't really gotten a footing underneath himself. I feel like he's just kind of lost that momentum on pay-per-view. I felt like he needed this more than Adam Page needed this. What'd you think of the outcome here before we get into how we got to the end?
So I think someone like MJF is completely bulletproof when it comes to wins and losses. So if they have plans for, and that's another thing too with this outcome, what is their plan going forward for that championship title? That's who wins this match. So if your imminent plans involve Hangman in that world title, either with Mox or with Swerve or Triple Threat or whatever the case may be, then that's who needs to win this match. And if it's not MJF, I still don't think it's the end of the world. I mean, to be honest with you, to me at least, it didn't even feel like MJF was all in on this feud. It seemed like just about 15 minutes ago, he was worried about Jeff Jarrett. You know what I'm saying? But now he's worried about Hangman. It just feels like right now they're just using MJF where they feel they might need him here and there. They don't have any definitive future plans for him right now. Which, I mean, I think it's a crying shame since he just came out and told us that he's a $15 million man in AEW. You're paying this guy a lot of fucking money. He needs to be front and center in all your fucking feuds. I mean, I don't know why he's being wasted in that regard. But Hangman winning, I mean, I think that's the story that they were telling, and it makes sense. It's fine. My question is then what are we doing with MJF? And what does this mean for Swerve? As far as, because he's now the designated number one contender. They've already started this feud. When does Hangman come into play? Is Hangman and MJF still a thing? They're not done yet, apparently, maybe. Until maybe they'll finish off by the time Swerve and Mox gets done with their business. And then we'll get Swerve as champion versus the winner of the MJF Hangman feud, which would, probably tell us that we should be MJF then, right?
I don't know. It could swing either way. I know MJF and Swerve way back when had a little bit of a crossroads, some words, not much TV time together, but they did tease that at one point or another. Obviously, that is a direction that a lot of fans would love to see the company going, with them in the main program on the show, as long as there's a good story attached to it. I've been saying this since last All In, that Page and Swerve should have main evented All In this year. That's the way I felt, and I still feel that way. But obviously, Tony's a mark, and he went with Bryan Danielson because he didn't want his show to end without Bryan Danielson winning the World Championship, being that this was his final full-time active in-ring career. So he gave him the World Championship. Not that I had a problem with that, because the moment was fucking unbelievable, and the match was great.
In hindsight, if he knew that Bryan was done, then he wanted to put the title on him. In hindsight, I get it. Okay,
Yeah. So that's the way I felt. I felt like Paige and Swerve should have main evented All In. We could absolutely be looking at that this year, and the company correcting their mistakes on what they should have gave us last year, this year in July. How we get there, I don't know. Listen, if Swerve is now the number one contender, which he did beat Ricochet tonight, and Jon Moxley is the world champion, it looks like that is the main event for Dynasty right now as things line up. Now, they could do it earlier. I don't really see them doing that because that is a match that I could see happen on pay-per-view. And if you go back just 1 year ago, Swerve won the World Championship last year at Dynasty, so we may be looking at a similar situation this year. Swerve would win the championship in April at Dynasty in Philadelphia. We get one more match at that show between Paige and MJF. MJF gets the victory there just to tie the series at 1-1, and then we ultimately get a third match where I think the third match happens. Now, this is just me fantasy booking. The Owen is happening a little earlier this year because All In is happening in July, so we may get the Owen in May after April's pay-per-view. So we may need to get that tournament and a decided winner, Jesse, pretty early this year. And the way that I see it, we could get the third match between MJF and Paige in the Owen in the finals. So Paige would be the number one contender. We go Paige Swerve at All In. Paige wins the championship from Swerve, and they end that story and have Paige finally get the world championship like he should have gotten last year.
Right. I'm trying to, I don't know if I want to say this. I don't want to will it into existence. But what if we're looking at a multi-man match for that world title and not just Swerve and Mox one-on-one? What if Hangman gets inserted into that feud?
I could see it.
You know what I'm saying? And also, what does Ricochet do now?
That's a good question.
What if he's not done?
Well, he lost tonight though.
Yeah, but he's a piece of shit. He might pop his head back up later on and cost Swerve a match.
I don't know.
What is he gonna do going forward?
I don't know. But I was surprised to see Adam Page beat MJF here. MJF is kind of bulletproof, but over time that bulletproof vest is gonna wear thin, and you can't really do it too much. But it definitely doesn't hurt him that he lost. I was just surprised to see him lose the first match after, basically he did what he did to try and set Adam Page on fire on Wednesday, and then comes out and loses. It's like he's got a point to prove to everybody. Why don't you like me? How come the fans don't love me? I mean, he even yelled it tonight. What the fuck is it with you and me? Why don't they like me and appreciate me? So you see MJF's kind of ego being bruised a little bit because he doesn't understand why the fans like the Cowboy when he's done all the bad shit, but MJF's done equally as bad shit, and fans don't like him the way that they do Hangman. So I could see it. I like that aspect of the story.
Yeah, I think one of the things that makes MJF bulletproof is the fact of the issue with taking losses and becoming irrelevant and taking losses and being bulletproof is that in your next feud, given a microphone, you can always make us care about your next feud. So losing this match to Hangman and anything like that, you can insert MJF into his next feud, give him a microphone, and he'll make us give a shit about the match because he's just golden on the microphone. Not everybody has that ability. So when we say, "Oh, this loss is going to kill him," because now your next feud, you want to make us believe that we are interested, make us believe that it's important. You want to make us give a shit, and you can't because we're tired of you losing, and we don't give a shit anymore. MJF can always make us give a shit because he is probably the absolute best in the industry on the microphone right now. So in that regard, at least to me, that's why I feel like he's bulletproof. It's going to take a while for us to not care what MJF does because he'll make you fucking care.
Yeah, he always does. As long as the creative is there backing him up, he's always going to deliver in that aspect when he's on TV. We'll pick it up here towards the middle of the match. We go to both men trading small packages back and forth. MJF escaped the Deadeye. He tried for a pile driver. Page immediately countered into a Deadeye for 2. Knee lift between the ropes by MJF, who wanted a heat seeker, but Page escaped to the buckshot. But MJF got his foot on the ropes. MJF got back to his feet. He spit on Hangman. Page decked him with a right hand. He wanted another buckshot. But for third time in the match, MJF rolled himself to the outside. So Page followed. He goes and charges. He missed a charge and ran into the steel steps on the outside. Page tried to kind of shake off the effects of the steel steps, and he rolled MJF back inside. He goes for another buckshot attempt. This time MJF countered the buckshot into Salt of the Earth, and then from Salt of the Earth into a crossface, and then the crossface into a reverse arm breaker. Page finally got his foot on the ropes, and MJF did a very good job of trying to take every body part that was accessible to him and just kind of prevent Page from getting to the ropes, but his feet finally got to the ropes. So they go to the outside. MJF rips off Tony Schiavone's headset, I wish permanently. He started cursing on the microphone and called Page a zero and said that this was his fucking company. So we go back to action. Page tried a tombstone on the outside, but the arm, because MJF had applied all those arm breakers, would not allow it. So he did a moonsault off the apron into position. MJF countered into a tombstone and then did a running tombstone on top of a steel chair that was in a seated position right by the timekeeper's area. And that was a great fucking spot. Great spot there. Adam Page was knocked out. Makes it in at a 9. MJF would have gladly taken a count-out victory here, but Page beats the count at 9. So MJF starts screaming, "What's so special about you? Why not me? Why him? Why not MJF?" He went for a heat seeker. Page walked in his way and got a dead eye, which did not look good. This did not look devastating, but he did follow that up with a devastating Angel's Wings, which is a Christopher Daniels move. And then he did the buckshot lariat. 1, 2, 3. Adam Page pins MJF, and that was the way the match ended. That Angel's Wings was brutal. One of the more brutal Angel's Wings that I've seen applied to somebody. I thought this was a very good open. Again, surprised that Page won, but it's not over by a long shot, honestly. And I do think that MJF's going to get his heat back almost instantaneously when we get to television.
Yeah, he'll be fine. The scary thing about the dead eye when performing it is that Hangman can't necessarily see where the head and neck is of his opponent because they're behind his back.
That's a good point.
So if it looks weak and shitty because it's not really getting any good connection, I mean, that's going to happen more often than not. We'd rather see that than the opposite, which is too much extension. So just by the nature of it, and he normally doesn't win by the move. It's normally always a setup anyway. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like the worst thing ever. But yeah, it's so hard for them to see his opponent's head, and it's scary when done. But he's always been a pro about it. Everybody's come out, fine after it. So that's good.
Very good open to the show. MJF, I'm assuming, will continue this with Adam Page going into the April pay-per-view, AEW Dynasty. Mercedes Moné, who will be at House of Glory on Saturday night, this coming Saturday. She does not have an opponent named yet, but I have an inkling of an idea what's going to happen at the show, and I think you guys are going to be very surprised at what happens. Mercedes, she defended...
Kick your ass?
Why would she? I love her.
Who would not jump at the opportunity to kick your ass, though?
Everybody would probably, but it hasn't happened in 6 years at House of Glory shows. Everybody just talks a big game online.
Didn't you already get your ass kicked at House of Glory?
Yes, by Charles Mason.
He looked like he was pretty good at it, though.
Yes, but it was in the midst of him feuding with the Solid Monster. I was collateral damage. So
Jason didn't get beat up, and you did.
Yes.
That's mess. Did he buy you a drink afterward at least?
He did not.
What the fuck, Jason?
He did not. Mercedes Moné.
All right.
She defended the TBS title against Momo Watanabe.
Oh, man.
Look at that, man. I want to sleep. Listen. I'm not going to talk too much about this. I'm going to be brutally honest like I usually am, and so is Jesse. Mercedes is probably the last 6 months top tier, S tier professional wrestler. She is on top of her game. She is in the golden days of Sasha Banks. That's her. That's the way that she has come across in ring. Her in-ring game is fucking great. It always has been. I don't know how many times I've said this woman is the best women's pro wrestler on the planet. She is fucking great. No different tonight. The thing is, Jesse, there are two problems here. One, she's running through opponents like fucking kids run through candy on Halloween. And two, every single match that she's in offers her no struggle and is just super predictable, bro. I went into this, I knew it was going to be a decent match, but a match I ultimately did not care for because there's no build, there's no story, there's legitimately no emotion going into anything Mercedes does. There's no story going into anything Mercedes does, and this was as predictable could be, man. Mercedes retains. I don't know what we got to do differently here, bro. We need some story, and we need some struggle for this woman because people are starting to call out the fact that everything is starting to feel the same.
I don't know what to say, man. I hope she has a fantastic showing at House of Glory this weekend. And I remember being happy when she was coming on board. But I'm not gonna lie, I expected much better than what we've been getting.
There's just nothing there. I mean, she's doing the one thing that we all knew of her. She's a great wrestler. Great wrestler. Maybe one of the best women's wrestlers ever. But as far as story, I'm sorry, folks. You know, you can clip this and fucking manipulate it how you want. I don't know what this woman has done for the division that's actually helped the division in the long run. I'm sorry. Creatively, I'm talking creatively. I'm not talking about Mercedes Varnado and what she said and what she's done for the younger talent off screen. I'm talking about what the company has done for her on screen. Where is the story and what is different with her as champion now than before she even joined the company? What is the difference?
Okay, who's Toni Storm's arch rival in AEW?
Mariah May.
Who's Mercedes' arch opponent?
She has zero. Maybe the closest would probably be Chris Statlander, but I mean, they've stop and start that whenever they want.
They're just flying through opponents. You beat her. Next. You beat her. Next. Bring them on. Next. I'm the CEO.
How are we supposed to look at it? I mean, seriously, Jesse, how are we supposed to look at it? I would love for someone to let me know. What am I allowed to say and what am I not allowed to say? How am I supposed to look at it?
So
as a fan?
Yeah. I had a theory on my previews and predictions, and it went on something like this. Momo won the opportunity to challenge an AEW Women's Champion, correct?
She did.
Why did she choose the secondary Women's Champion? Toni Storm holds the inaugural AEW Women's Championship title. She holds the premier Women's Championship in AEW. Why would Momo go for that's like winning Money in the Bank and then challenging for the U.S. title?
It's a good question. I don't think we're allowed to ask those questions, bro.
I mean, I couldn't figure that out earlier in my live stream. Like, why is she even challenging Mercedes Moné? You know, kayfabe wise, you want the best. Toni Storm is the one holding the top title of the women in AEW.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I just thought about that earlier today. That literally made no sense. We just want something to happen with Mercedes to make us give a shit, as opposed to hearing who her next opponent is, and then us wondering, well, how fast is this match gonna go, and how fast is this feud gonna be over? What does she do after this match? Because we know they're just gonna spin them right out. You know what I'm saying? Is anybody gonna get anything over on Mercedes other than a couple of jokes and a rib here and there? No one ever feels like anything is in danger with her. And not only that, no one is being made to look like a credible opponent and someone that looks like someone you don't want to deal with because of how dangerous he is, because of how their feud went with Mercedes. They all just fall off the radar. All of them.
So I want to read to you a list of matches here. And I want, it's going to be a round robin thing. I want Jesse to give me a yes or a no to each one of these ladies I call out. Jesse, has Mercedes made Willow Nightingale look good?
No.
Sky Blue.
No, where is she?
She's injured. Nothing to do with Mercedes, but she got injured. Stephanie Vaquer.
No, she's gone.
Nyla Rose.
Haven't seen her on TV in ages.
Hikaru Shida. Twice.
Same.
Twice. Dr. Britt Baker DMD, bro. No? Okay. Emi Sakura, your favorite female pro wrestler.
Nope.
Queen Aminata.
Nope. Although, again, I want to point this out. Queen Aminata looks like that she is about to get a little bit of a push thanks to the rub of Serena Deeb, not Mercedes.
I like Queen Aminata. She's got a great look.
Yep.
Chris Statlander.
No.
Hazuki. Who? Exactly. Anna Jay. Remember that? Remember that, man? Holiday Bash, Anna Jay. Everybody's
Where
like,
is she?
I don't know. Maybe we should ask Jungle Jack. I have no fucking clue. Mina Shirakawa.
Mina got over in AEW, but from who? Who was her first? It was who did Mina come over with? Mina came over to feud
Mariah, no? She came over with Mariah.
It's Mariah and Toni Storm, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So not Mercedes. Okay. Never mind.
Yuka Sakazaki.
No.
And Harley Cameron, man. Did she put over Harley, bro? Is Harley any better, man?
Harley had momentum going into her Mercedes match and then lost it coming out.
So for all the Monet crew, I'd like to ask this question: Where is the division any better now with Mercedes as its champion? Or am I not allowed to ask these questions because she's coming to House of Glory?
You can ask her.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just asking a fucking logical professional wrestling question. Smash with Momo meant nothing. That's the point I'm trying to make. It meant fucking nothing.
Look, let's cap this Mercedes thing with this. It's creative, not giving Mercedes anything.
Well, we don't know if Mercedes has creative control and what she wants and what she doesn't want comes through her. I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Something's got to be done, though.
Yeah.
A little bit of struggle goes a long way. I don't want to watch fucking Hulk Hogan or Brock Lesnar on TV devour an entire division. I want to see some struggle. I want to see some story. Seriously.
She's got like 4 or 5 titles. I have no idea where they're from.
And then everybody's like putting their hopes and dreams and aspirations in fucking Athena. You know, Billy Starks is there taking notes during this match. For what? For a loss?
No.
What is she taking notes on? How to lose to Mercedes Moné, like the 15 other casualties that we've seen. For what? And then everybody's putting their hopes and dreams in Athena at All In. Let me tell you something, folks. I said this on Wednesday. Athena is not beating Mercedes. If she does, I would be fucking floored, legitimately shocked if Athena beats Mercedes for the TBS Championship. Mercedes is holding the title until she beats Jade Cargill's record of 508 days. I swear to you, that's exactly what they're thinking. That's what Tony's thinking. He doesn't want Jade holding that title because she's not in AEW no more. She's now WWE. But Mercedes is going to break that record because she is AEW. That's it. She's going to be 5 belts Moné. You think 4 belts is bad? 5 belts Moné. And when she makes 0 appearances for Ring of Honor, they just might as well close with the entire fucking brand because then you'd have Jericho and Mercedes holding titles while not appearing on that show. Great. Great. Wow. Any more questions?
It's just, I mean, they wanted to bring her in. They paid a lot of money for her, but it doesn't feel like they had any real direction, any real creative plans, anything that they wanted to actually do with her that made any sense other than give her all the titles and let her keep winning. That's not a plan. That's a burial of your women's division.
No, and before this gets clipped out of context, then I'm sure as hell knowing somebody from the Monet crew is going to fucking clip it and fucking have a problem with what me and Jesse said. We love Mercedes. I've said for 5 years before you people even fucking existed that Mercedes is the best women's professional wrestler on the planet, so much that I got shit for it. Even said it again tonight in the tweet. Nobody fucking recognized it because it's positive. Mercedes is not doing anything for the division outside of being a fucking unbelievable pro wrestler. We want a better division. We want story. That's not us hating on Mercedes. That's all we ask for. Is that too much to ask?
Yep.
That's it.
I mean,
That's it. This match meant nothing, and it was predictable as they come. Mercedes wins. Goodbye, Momo. Back to Stardom. That's it.
oh, this match came from Stardom.
Yes, this match will be forgotten by the time you guys wake up in the morning. Swerve Strickland. He went one-on-one with Ricochet. This was a no-more contender match for the AEW World Championship. This was probably my favorite match of the night. I thought this was fucking fantastic. Absolutely already match of the year candidate from these two. Ricochet, he started out at All In that gauntlet match. I was very excited for him to come on in and just kind of have the handcuffs off, do what he does best. He got started wrong. The rockiness of his start was not all that pleasing from a fan's point of view. They rushed right to a Will Ospreay match. We start to see the turn. We start to see him generating some heel heat, and it was a little cringy, and I didn't really appreciate the way we got there by throwing toilet paper at him and all this other nonsense. But the way we started, Jesse, to where we are now, Ricochet, outside of his promo work, because obviously that's been the weakest part of his game, everything else is fucking great. And he can say what he wants about the fans, and he can say what he wants about me and this show on X. I will always speak up for when something is great and when something is bad. This match was fucking fantastic. Ricochet, this was probably his best match in AEW. And Swerve Strickland is one of the, I don't want to say he's the, because it's a very subjective thing. One of the best big match wrestlers, maybe in all the business. Every time he goes out there, bro, in a situation where you need emotion, you need physicality, you need a great pro wrestling match, he's always there, man. He's like a fucking cleanup hitter, and he's your star guy coming up at bat, and you know he's gonna fucking deliver every single time. That's what Swerve Strickland is for AEW. This was the best match of the entire night for me, and I think this was the best match of Ricochet's AEW career.
Yeah, that's because when when Swerve comes out, he has nothing but business on his face. He's all business. He looks serious. He's got Nana out there to cut that tension a little bit with his dancing and his mannerisms. But Swerve walking right behind him, this motherfucker look like he's ready to fucking slit your fucking throat, man. He is not. It's not a game.
Yeah.
And he has that look about him when he comes out at you. So, and that's every fucking match. Babyface, heel. That's what I like about Swerve and what they're doing. When he was heel, there is not too much different from what's going on with Swerve right now as babyface. It's not a whole lot of a fucking difference. It's just not, because Swerve is just fucking Swerve. You know what I'm saying? And he looks like he's coming to fucking kill you. And he brings that little bit of sense of legitimacy to it. Like, this guy, if you're just watching the show and you're an outsider, you look at it, I don't know who this guy is, but he looks pissed the fuck off. Like, he's ready to fucking fight.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Every little bit matters. Everything you say, everything you do, everything that you present is all one big fucking package to what you're bringing to a match. And Swerve brings it in fucking spades, man. Love it.
Yeah, this was, again, by far the best thing on the show. We'll pick it up here towards when things really broke down with Nana and with Swerve Strickland. Ricochet is mocking Nana with the robe. And Strickland was obviously not having any of that shit. So he went to attack Ricochet on the outside. Nana tried to calm him down, but Strickland shoved Nana down, not realizing who it was. So this distraction allowed Ricochet to walk the barricade and hit a huge house call kick on Swerve. And Nana opted to bail on the match. He threw up the middle finger at Swerve and started telling him, fuck off and go fuck yourself. He walked out of the fucking ringside area to the back. So everybody's like, oh my God, what's happening here? So that really created some of the intrigue in this match. Did Nana just turn on Swerve? We didn't know. So Ricochet was mocking him and trolling him, waving goodbye. Swerve is there reaching out to Nana. I couldn't believe that he walked away. Ricochet trash-talked Leslie Jones in the crowd, and we had Nigel McGuinness thinking that Leslie Jones was Prince Nana's mother in the crowd.
Oh, my God.
That's what he said on the commentary. Excalibur had to inform him that, no, sir, that's not the case. So Strickland in the corner, cut Ricochet off. They're on the top rope. Ricochet does a springboard, dragging Rana. Swerve rolled through into a power bomb and a power bomb into a power slam, which looked great for a great sequence 2 count. They both went to the apron. They traded kicks until Ricochet managed to poison Rana on the edge of the ring. And Ricochet brings Swerve to the Spanish announce table and could not get Strickland up, which allowed Strickland to hit a vertebraker on the table, which Excalibur says is made of solid oak and did not break. I don't know what it is with their tables, but they just don't break in any sense of the word. They don't break. They may be solid oak. I thought he was trolling.
They don't want them to break. They don't want them to break at this point.
No, they don't want them to break at all.
No.
It would look better if it did break, but I mean, it was still brutal nonetheless. Swerve hit a swerve stomp. Ricochet kicked out. Ricochet tried for a low blow. That was blocked. He went to the eyes before hitting a Northern Light into a brainbuster. Ricochet hit a beautiful 630 senton as Prince Nana saw an opening. I love this. He ran back out and he grabbed the robe from the steel post that it was hanging on. I'm like, oh, look at that logic. It made sense. Why wouldn't he come out when Ricochet's not even looking and just steal the robe back? So that's exactly what he did. He puts the robe on and Ricochet hits a dive, wiping out Nana on the outside. He takes the robe off Nana. He puts the robe on. Strickland tried for a dive, but Ricochet hit a Death Valley driver in midair on the outside. So Ricochet got in the face of Ken Jeong while he was wearing the jacket, and he was seated by ringside. We go back inside. He's still wearing the robe. Ricochet hit a vertigo, but Strickland kicked out. Ricochet then wanted Spirit Gun, but Nana pulled at the tail end of the rope, and he started wrestling Ricochet over it. Strickland got a roll-up for a 2, but was sent into Nana, knocking him to the outside as he was standing on the apron. Ricochet nearly stole the match at this point and got a pinfall for a 2 count. Strickland popped up immediately and hit 2 house call kicks and then a big pressure, and Swerve is the winner here. 1, 2, 3. The jacket is now back on Nana. They celebrated and hugged in the middle of the ring, and it was just a great moment. And like I said in the beginning of the match, you know, outside of all the thumbtacks and the fucking blood and the glass and the chairs and all the plunder, this was by far the best moment of the entire show. And it showed everybody that you don't need any of that noise to sell the fans on what really matters, and that is true, genuine story and true, genuine emotion. A fucking robe got everybody to give these 2 a standing ovation, and that's all I asked for. Less is more, quality over quantity, and this was fucking fantastic. Match of the night, moment of the night right here between Swerve and Prince Nana.
This was awesome. I had this as my moment of the year candidate for AEW. It was a feel good moment. You know, a lot of people don't get the big picture when it comes to pro wrestling. That robe can be a world title, you know, just as easily in pro wrestling. It's not about the physical value of it. It's about the value you give it. Right now, that robe is more important than the TNT title. You know?
Yes, it is.
It is. It is, because it's the value that you give an inanimate object. It does not matter what it is. We're just used to titles as wrestling fans, but it can be a robe, it can be a plant, it can be a ring, it can be anything that they want to claim has value, as long as they tell us a story behind it and why it has value. Nana told us what that robe meant to him and his culture and what he was willing to do if he did not get it back. That robe has instant value, because we don't want to see Nana leave Swerve. Swerve don't want to see Nana leave him, so he has to get that damn robe back. That robe is just as important as a title at that moment. Some people don't understand that. It's not about what it is. It's about what they made us believe that it meant. And they did a fantastic job at telling that story tonight.
This was great. Swerve is now the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. Adam Page beat MJF, so it looks like we are slowly getting back to what matters most, and that is story for the World Championship. So you want to restore that fucking feeling they keep talking about. That right now, I don't know where the fuck it's coming from. Guys like MJF, Swerve, Adam Page, those are the guys. Those are the characters that you need to push when you're pushing that narrative. So this was by far the best thing on the show, in my honest opinion, just for the reasons that we discussed. Swerve is now the number one contender, and he will wrestle, I'm assuming, Moxley at Dynasty in April when they come to Philadelphia. Speaking of... Yeah, Jesse, I'm sorry.
But now with this feud, I will say this. As fans, we're expecting to see Samantha Irving. Now,
yeah, I thought she'd show up tonight. I predicted so, and she did not show up, Jesse.
Yeah, now, we didn't get her. We as fans can be idiots and don't know what the fuck we're thinking sometimes or what we're talking about. So if she's not coming at all, then shame on us, then we're idiots. If you have her and she is coming, I have to question, why didn't you bring her out tonight?
I don't know.
I mean, if she pops up here, I'm going to think back to this match and wonder why you didn't bring her in tonight. You got Nana out there causing all of this bullshit and everything else. If you have his wife there, it would have made sense to bring her out here tonight. Now, look, if she's not coming in, there was never going to come in, or you don't have her yet and you're going to get her later, fine. But if we find out that you've had her and you didn't use her here, I got to question why you didn't.
I seriously thought the modifications that Ricochet was talking about to the robe were going to be walked out there on Samantha. And I thought she was going to be the modification.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, that would have been great, but we don't have her yet. But the rumor mill is starting to swirl in regards to her AEW impending debut. So I do think that she's coming in. When and for what reason, that is unknown yet. Unknown right now to the audience. So we'll figure that out hopefully soon.
Thank you, Hooli. I was getting ready to. But, all right, go ahead.
What happened? Who got blocked? Who got blocked?
This guy's in a hurry to go to bed or something. I don't know.
What did he? Who is it? What did he say?
Carlucci.
Oh, Carlucci. I can't say ruined. Just didn't pop off. Carlucci, what's your problem, bro? Swerve needs a redemption.
No, he wants people to move on, he said.
All right, this is my fucking show, bro. It's 2:00 in the fucking morning. You don't think I want to go to sleep? Who the fuck are you? Who is anybody telling me what to do at 2:00 in the fucking morning? Huh?
It's not a race, guys. We have a pay-per-view to get through.
You want me to be like Fightful and end their fucking stream after 59 minutes? That's up to you. Go watch something that's little effort, no effort. It's not me. It's not what we do here. Full-fledged production, solo production here. You don't like it? Go watch somebody else. Fucking ridiculous. Okada, speaking of ridiculous, the Continental title is fucking ridiculous. Why did this need to be on the show is my question. Jesse, would you be kind enough to tell our beautiful audience here of 3,200 people on a Monday morning at 2:00 in the morning why Brody King got a Continental Championship match against Kazuchika Okada?
Yeah, it's as easy. Because a week ago, Okada came out of his locker room and walked past Julia Hart and Brody and interrupted their interview. All right. He accidentally came out of his locker room door and interrupted their interview, walked by it, and Brody and Julia looked at him like, "The fuck are you doing?" And Okada was like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that. Didn't know. Seemingly a honest mistake. And later on that night, Okada went and attacked Brody King for looking at him, for him interrupting their interview, and that's how we got to this title match at the pay-per-view.
Wow, that's tremendous. That's a big piece of storytelling right there, man. That's my mind is blown with the amount of effort that they seemingly put into that.
True story. When the Bucks went home to do whatever the fuck it is they're doing right now, I don't think anyone thought about the fact that Okada was attached to these guys and what they were going to do with him. And he's just dangling right now.
Well, let me tell you something. Listen, you guys know me for my upfront, brutal honesty. I don't shy away from anything. I say what the fuck I want on this show. This may be a hot take to some. It might not be a hot take to some of the people listening here. I don't really give a shit. Okada in AEW fucking sucks. I'm sorry. Not that I'm overly familiar with Okada in New Japan, but I knew of him, and I've watched him wrestle several times, coming over as the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okada was simply brought in to AEW so that Triple H didn't bring Okada into WWE. Tony blew him away with such a big money offer and opted for him to sign with AEW because it was most familiar with what he's recognized for in New Japan Pro Wrestling. The other reason why he was brought into AEW was for one reason and one reason only, so that they could do a fifth match with Kenny Omega at some point during this run. That is it. Okada has made no difference to AEW television. Okada is not the type of guy that people are watching or want to watch on a week-to-week basis on AEW television. And the biggest thing that Okada is known for his time in AEW, is not even his wrestling, which he's one of the greatest pro wrestlers maybe ever to do this. The one thing that he's known for is his usage of the word bitch, because Tony and company thinks it's funny when a Japanese accent says the word bitch on national television. That is it. And if you don't like the fact that I've been open and honest about that, then maybe you should go watch somebody else that's going to blow smoke up your ass. Okada is not worth the money that he is being paid in AEW. I'm sorry. This is a waste of my time, and this match was better served on a Dynamite. They should have come up, Jesse, with 4 weeks of television, a little mini story to get this match done. Why did this match need to be on the pay-per-view to make this overly long pay-per-view even longer? Nobody cared, and this didn't need to be seen on television tonight.
So I think with everything involved, as far as the language barrier and a lot of the casual audience not being familiar with who this guy is, I think Okada has at least shown me that he can bring more to the table than just bell-to-bell in-ring work. He has shown some charisma. He's shown some comedy. The guy, he has shown that he can be more than just an in-ring worker. But they've somehow failed to have him do anything of interest as far as a storyline. I mean, I don't understand it. You've managed to show us that he has some comedic timing. He can be funny. He has some charisma. And you managed to show us that, but then not give us any substance of any kind of interesting story with him. So, like, what the fuck are you doing with him? That's why I seriously feel like they had plans for him as far as storylines go with the Bucks, but then they had the Bucks pack up their shit and run off and literally leave Okada sitting there holding the bag. Like, what do I do now?
I don't know.
I mean, the guy is in foreign territory, literally. He's in this country, and the Bucks were like his Sherpa, basically, and they just took off and left, and creative had nothing for Okada but go out there and wrestle and say bitch a few times. And I feel like by now Okada should be catching on. He should be in something interesting. He should be a lot better than just sitting there holding a title. Again, back to creative. They have to do better than this.
It's amazing. Guys, I'm sorry. I opened something on Twitter that was SpongeBob related. I'm sorry if you heard any weird noises for about a second or two. Okada, Mercedes, and Osprey all came in around the same time. And it's like, none of them have made any sort of difference in any aspect on AEW television. So you look back at what had happened over the course of the last 12 months. Like, where are we? We just got done talking about Mercedes and how she's done nothing for the TBS title and the women's division. She's maybe done a little bit for the TBS title because she never fucking loses. So I guess whoever beats her is going to inherit all that. But Okada? I mean, the guy, I would love for someone to prove us wrong. Okada was merely brought in for one match that he's done 4 times previously already here on American soil for a 5th time to wrestle Omega. What are we doing? Why is this important to me?
They have very narrow vision when they bring in certain people. They brought in FTR, just to feud with the Bucks. Turns out FTR was BFF with the guy that Tony Khan hates more than anyone in life, and now the Bucks are off TV. So what's FTR good for to you now?
They're they're worthless.
I mean, you brought Okada into feud with Kenny Omega. Kenny had to go out with diverticulitis. What are we doing with Okada? I mean, it's you've got to have a better vision when you start. Especially, look, if you're gonna sign a mid-carder or a rookie or someone that's unheard of, just bring them in and give them a shot and figure out something later for them. It's fine. You didn't pay a lot for them. There's not a lot of expectation for this person. You're fine. You're bringing in these big fucking free agents with these big fucking contracts and everything else, and you have nothing for them. Why did you bring them in the first place? When you signed them, you should have been pitching everything you fucking had for them. We're going to do this for you in the first 6 months. We're going to do this for you on the later half of the year. And then next year, we're going to do this. You should have all that shit laid out. They don't have any. They don't know. They just want you in the company and they'll figure it out later. Bad idea.
That's an awful way to look at things, honestly.
Yeah.
This match did not need to happen tonight. I don't give a fuck if you guys are into real graps or not, or whatever the fucking cool slang is online on X when it comes to AEW. This was a waste of everybody's fucking time. I mean, imagine, Okada's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong, but imagine Brody King, bro, losing to a fucking clothesline. Brody King. Imagine that.
Shouldn't be. As you try to figure out what to do with Okada, you are feeding him guys like Brody King, who should be on his way to your main event world title scene.
Brody King losing to a fucking clothesline. My God, man.
Losing Malachi Black for AEW should have been a blessing in disguise, because that is an instant step-up position for Brody King. Instant new leader of that faction. Instant direction you can go. Put him at the top of the card, or at least have them booked strong in the middle of the card so you can then unwrap that package you've been giving us for the last few weeks and spring it into the main event scene. Brody King has been fucking killing it. He's been running his fucking faction. Julia Hart and Buddy are doing their fucking thing. Now we're ready for a main event spot to open up. Insert Brody King. You put him there now, I'm going to look back and say he's a fucking loser.
This was a waste of time. I'm sorry. Okada wins with the Rainmaker. I could not have given a single solitary fuck about anything that happened here. Gee, man, where's the story, I'm asking?
Lost to a headlock.
Fucking ridiculous. Hurt Syndicate. Speaking of no story and a complete waste of fucking time, these two matches could have easily been omitted from the entire show, and we would have been out of here at 11:30 instead of fucking 12:10. Give me a break. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin with MVP defeated the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. It was supposed to be the Murder Machines of Brian Cage and Lance Archer, but they just opted for one loser team over the other loser team. This was easily the worst thing of the entire show. This should have been a fucking 3-minute squash. I don't know why it even went as long as it did. And I swear to God, Jesse, I said this on Twitter, the tag team division at this point needs a fucking exorcism. I don't know where we went wrong. I don't know where all those people were when we said, oh, the Hurt Syndicate are better champions than Private Party. This is the rebuilding phase of the tag team division. In what sense did you get a rebuilding phase of them winning over Private Party? The division is the worst it's ever been, and I swear to God, man, there are zero credible teams to even stand in the ring with the Hurt Syndicate, and now, laughably, they're building up Leo Rush and Action Andretti as the next two guys, the next two casualties, I should say, against the Hurt Syndicate. What are we doing here, Tony?
So sad. Hey, I have an idea. What if we did Brody King and Brody King and Buddy Matthews tag team right there? Look at that. It'd be better than him losing to Okada. For what a
Buddy Matthews and Brody King. I mean, that would be great if Buddy Matthews didn't twist his fucking ankle in Australia.
Oh fuck! Oh, he's out hurt now.
Well, where is he? Has he been on TV since?
Shit, where? Shit, let me get my list out. Where is all of these people? You know what I'm saying? Where's anybody? They're all gone. Guantanamo Bay, is that what you called it?
Guantanamo Bay. That's exactly what Eric Bischoff calls it.
That's a good one. I like that.
You should put that on a shirt. I'd actually buy that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This was a waste of fucking time. Rampage match is exactly what it was, and Rampage doesn't even exist anymore. The Outrunners, Jesse. I mean, we were talking about how popular they were, man. I mean, you know, first of all, they bury the guns. Where have the guns been? They haven't even been seen on television. They come back after 4 months and get a tag team title match for absolutely no reason and get buried by the Hurt Syndicate in fucking 10 minutes. So where are they? A legit team. Goodbye. Gone. No story. Goodbye. Fuck story. We don't care about that. We're just going to feed them to the Hurt Syndicate. Same thing with the Outrunners. The only other legit team in the division buried. Man, we were talking about the Outrunners. There was a story going around last year that the Outrunners and the Young Bucks were the direction, and that the Young Bucks wanted to put the Outrunners over in a fucking squash match and have them win the tag team championships instead of Private Party. That boat has fucking sailed, man. The Outrunners will never sniff tag team championships, and their run at AEW, as far as I'm concerned, is fucking over, man. Where did we go wrong here?
Too late. Too late for that one. Again, one of those missed opportunities, one of those times where a hot shotting the title would have been beneficial. Look, that's not always a good idea, but sometimes it is. And when you as a booker, you have to read that shit. You have to see it in the fucking crowd. You have to feel it in the momentum. You have to see it. The Outrunners were that hot. Your tag division wasn't doing shit anyway. Fucking hot shot it. Do it. Why not? You know, I think they did this. No, that wasn't a good time. They just did it. They gave Saraya the title. There was nothing going on with the title when they gave it to her in London. But it wasn't like she was like white hot over at the time. They just did it because they weren't doing shit with the title anyway. But they have never seized that moment. They have never seen it where it's like, we weren't planning on this, but my God, we're not doing anything right now and the crowd really wants it. Just fucking hot shot it. Do it. Make the Outrunners the fucking champions. Have them have fun with them for a few weeks. And then tonight at the pay-per-view, have the Hurt Business win the titles at the pay-per-view, crown them, and then move on to whatever you were going to do with the Outrunners, and it would have made them look great. Now, good luck getting the titles on the Outrunners with the fucking Hurt Syndicate having those damn titles.
This was awful. I'm sorry. This should not have been booked on the show, and this should have been given a little bit more treatment if you want the Outrunners to even fucking survive their remaining days in AEW. This is just embarrassing. And this tag team division is the worst tag team division in all of wrestling, and that means that it's worse than WWE's division, and they're not even doing any good with their tag team division. The worst it's ever been. And this is a company that prided themselves on tag team wrestling. Where the fuck did we go wrong, man? I don't get it. Hurt Business, Hurt Syndicate wins here, and they basically just ate up another team and spit them out. And then I'm supposed to believe fucking Action Andretti and Leo Rush are going to stand a chance against these guys. Give me a break. Give me a break.
You put those titles on the Hurt Syndicate very early on, and they are a very dominant faction. They're being booked dominantly. They're being booked strong. How do you get those titles off of them? I mean, they're going to be there for the foreseeable future. You don't even have a team that looks like, and it looks like they're booking themselves as heels. So you need a babyface team to get the titles off of them. Because MVP came out shitting on the home crowd. So I'm guessing that they're gonna be heels. I mean, that baby faces don't shit on cities, all right? Neither do tweeners. So I mean, what babyface tag team do you have? Are you gonna bring the Young Bucks back? Are the Bucks gonna come back and take down the Hurt Syndicate?
God, that would be awful.
What are you doing?
If Buddy is really hurt, it should have been Buddy and Brody. That would have been the only legit team. Now, if Buddy is hurt and he's not ready to come back and he's out for however many months, the only two guys that I could see right now even standing a chance are Samoa Joe and Hook. That's it.
Yeah.
That would probably get over pretty well. But I don't see them going that direction.
No, and it's a bad time to take the titles off of the Hurt Syndicate. They've just got them. They are going to be big deals in this company. I'm assuming that we're going to get Cedric in as well. I don't think they think ahead when they do certain things. The Hurt Syndicate should have been chasing for a little while because that's the kind of tag team that is not going to lose those titles when they finally get them. They already got them now.
This was awful. Hurt Syndicate wins. And again, another predictable match. You could see where the problems in AEW are. Too predictable. Very predictable, especially with some of these matches that's put together tonight. I just don't really get it. Timeless Toni Storm. This was predictable, but this was good. Timeless Toni Storm with Luther against Mariah May for the AEW Women's title in a Hollywood ending match. This was basically a Falls Count Anywhere match labeled a Hollywood ending. You know, Jesse, we talked about Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker and how iconic their AEW match was for the women's division, the most violent match in AEW history, probably up until this point. I think we have a new champion as far as the most violent match in AEW history right now, which I'm not really surprised by because Thunder Rosa has no real place in the division anymore. Britt Baker's been fucking taken off television for God knows how long. So they wanted a new champion as far as that match, that violence in the division, and they crowned Toni and Mariah as the most violent match in AEW history. I thought this was fantastic.
Britt Baker is at home tweeting about football.
Yeah.
During an AEW pay-per-view.
Yep.
Let that shit sink in.
Completely checked out, bro.
She does not give a single solitary fuck.
Nope. Not at all.
None. She was the absolute pinnacle of the women in this company, and she went from that to tweeting about her Pittsburgh Steelers during an AEW pay-per-view, bro.
Yep. This was bloody. This was great. It was violent. It was physical. And Toni retained the title here in what was one of the best women's matches probably that the company's ever done. And Jim Ross is on commentary. And he wanted to be out here, bird's eye view, to call this match. So we got this match started right on top of the stage as Storm and Mariah go at it right there on the stage. May wanted to suplex off the stage, but Storm tried a backdrop, but May instead opted for a pile driver on the stage. She then grabbed some flowers. There was a table set up with a champagne bottle and some ice buckets. And then there was glasses on another table. And then there was just this random table behind them that said Hollywood ending on it. May grabbed some flowers, but pulled out a taser from within the flowers. It's almost like a fucking James Bond flick. Luther tried to get away from her. So May hit a drop kick, launching Luther over the table with the glassware set up on it. And he floats over. We didn't see him again. May did some damage to herself on the drop kick as it looked brutal. And this allowed Toni to hit a sky-high suplex or powerbomb off the stage through a production table that was set up off the side of the stage down below. So they finally make it to ringside. May tried to run away from Toni. Toni swept the legs out on a barricade spot, hit a draping DDT off of it. Storm missed a hip attack against the barricade, which allowed May to hit Storm 0 on the steps, which then busted open Toni very badly in the process, and she started bleeding buckets. May then tossed chains and chairs into the ring before rubbing her veil, she came out dressed like a bride, her veil onto Toni Storm's bloody face. In the ring, Storm was trapped in a tree of woe, and a chair was put up against Toni's face as Mariah hit Toni's sweet chic music. Storm was then in a reverse German, she was able to hit a reverse German on Mariah, sending May to the floor. And both ladies grabbed buckets, ice buckets, from opposite sides of the ring underneath the ring. In the buckets were broken glasses, champagne bottles, and broken pieces of shards of glass. So they bring each bottle and each bucket into the ring, and then they start taping their fists. And each woman dips their hand and fists into the ice buckets, and now they both are battling with shards of glass on each one of their fists. So they missed some rights, they missed some lefts, and all of a sudden, we get Storm decking May with a shot with shards of glass taped to her wrist, busting Mariah open. Now she joins Toni, bleeding buckets. So Storm then takes the ice buckets and pours the empty glass all over the ring, and then Storm went for a big kick. May smashed a bottle between Toni's legs, which got a huge reaction. That looked brutal. They fight up on the ropes. May bit the bloody head of Toni and hit head scissors down onto the shards of glass. This followed up with Mayday for a 2 count. And then we get this great overhead shot from like the center camera up above the ring, and they do a zoom down shot of Toni just bleeding. She looked like she was just, it was like the ending of a horror movie. Ridiculous. So
Yeah.
from that, we get May pulling up Toni, and then we get a Snap Storm Zero by Toni out of nowhere, who then went to ringside to take the bloody shoe that has been prominent in this story that Mariah May used months ago on Toni. May saw this. She started to run away and crawl up the ramp, and she went to go grab the AEW Women's title that was still laying there on the stage from the beginning of the match. Storm stomped her head onto it before whipping away at Mariah with the title. Storm grabbed the shoe, but seemed to have a little love for Mariah. She didn't deliver any shots with the shoe, and May counters this hesitation into Mayday on the stage for a 2 count. Crowd is into this. Both ladies go above a table that read Hollywood ending on it, like I mentioned in the beginning. And Storm got control of the shoe, repeatedly smashed May in the head with it before hitting. This was the weakest. Out of everything that we saw, this was the weakest spot of the match. The table kind of just flopped over and didn't really break in a menacing, vile way like it should have. But she did a Storm Zero through the table, and that was it. Mariah was out. Toni flops on top of Mariah, 1, 2, 3. And in the end of the match, we saw the big screen say the end, like we see in the old school Hollywood flicks on the big screen. And they left Toni just laying on top of Mariah as this match came to an end. Great stuff. Great stuff. Like I said, the blood in this match was warranted for the Hollywood ending. So soon, we'll get into the Osprey match and Fletcher match, and we'll discuss what should have been done differently here. But if there's one match that needed it on this show, it was definitely this. And Toni, like Jesse said in the beginning, I wholeheartedly agree. The best performance in the last 18 months out of any women's division is Toni Storm, man. She has absolutely made herself, when she is a free agent, bro, she's going to make the biggest money she's ever made in her entire career, man. There are going to be companies lining up for her services. That's how great she's done. Fucking great match. And like we said, where's Mariah going? A sabbatical and some time off would do her well. Where does Toni go? I don't know, but they need to start penning something quickly because they need a great follow-up for what this was. And this was the best feud in AEW women's history.
Yeah, it was really good. You know, it felt like that they had genuine hatred towards each other. Their chemistry and their matches are so damn good, man. You know, we ask a lot about like what's next or what's next for such and such. We could easily ask that about so many different feuds, so many different people, but it seems like everything that Toni Storm has been in as of late, she's killed it with her character work. She's always been good in the ring. She's just been a little bit dishwash water dull as far as her character wise with the rocker Toni and shit like that. This has taken off. She's owned it. It feels like she lives her gimmick everywhere she goes. It even got her a damn movie role somehow. I mean, this is her time, man. Toni Storm is doing it real big, and to me at least, there's just something about beautiful women who are wrestlers who people look at and just say, oh, they're just some prissy women who don't want to get their fingernails fucking dirty, but they go out there and they have legitimate wrestling matches with legitimate moves. They go out there and do these hardcore style matches where they're not scared to fucking take a beating and not scared to fucking do what it takes to sell the match. And then tomorrow they'll come back, you know, and they'll go back to whatever it was they were doing before. I love the range and the versatility of women who can do that. That's why we had a good time watching Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa do that. And same thing here with these women, man. I mean, they show that they are not just here for fucking looks, and they are here to get down and dirty like the men do in professional wrestling. And I do enjoy that.
I do. That's a good point. I have always said that through my years of doing this show. Women's wrestling is best when they actually go out there and get their hands dirty just like the men do. I don't want to see women in there afraid to break a fingernail or lose a hair extension or a fucking eyelash. This is what we came for, and this is exactly what we like to see. So this was great, and the most violent match in AEW women's history now belongs to Toni Storm and Mariah May. I don't know where they go. I'm assuming that Toni is going to have a big match at All In. She should. She's the leader of this division. We mentioned Jamie Hayter. I know she's right now having some visa problems and some work problems here in the States. Hopefully that gets taken care of fairly quickly. I think Jamie Hayter is the biggest name that they could possibly build to as a match for Toni at All In. And I would love to see Jamie Hayter get back to what we all fell in love with, honestly, before she went out with injury. I think that's the match. I think that's the story. I think a story now for Jamie Hayter that Toni kind of got herself in. We saw Rocker Toni. It's a timeless Toni. I'd love to see a transforming of a character from the Jamie Hayter that we see now back to what she was. And I would love to see not only that for her, but for the division. We need a solid story as a follow-up, and I think that's the way that they have to go.
Yeah, agreed. They need to. I mean, but look, I think what we're asking for is going to require someone that is in charge of creative who does not have a stick up their ass about someone being a fan of Punk.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be needed. He has got to get over this fucking bullshit. He is burying himself for his own personal hatred of someone else. I mean, for the love of God, let this roster do what they do. Forget about who they are friends with and like and they don't like, and stop burying people and sticking them in fucking catering and not pushing people and turning them into 70s sitcom stars and every other bullshit. Just move on and book people the way that the fans want to see them booked. No one wanted to see this Jamie Hayter. No one is sitting here saying, oh, this is better. I thought she sucked before, but this style of Jamie Hayter is better. She's not on TV as much. She doesn't have a championship. She's boring. She looks like a 70s star. This is much. No one's enjoying this shit. No one.
No.
Quit doing it.
No. Camille got buried because of her friendship with Jim Cornette, or whatever fucking reason that she had with Mercedes. I have no fucking idea what happened there. That was a natural progression, and they blew it off. They blew off a year-long fucking story. They blew it up in 3 months. And now we're doing the same thing to Jamie Hayter because she had some positive things to say about Phil Brooks. You got to be fucking kidding me, bro. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is some way to sabotage top-tier talent and stories on your show. What are we going to do? We're going to go Megan Bain? I mean, Jamie Hayter is the natural way of things. It really is. Instead of giving us fucking Reggie, and Scooby-Doo fucking version of Jamie Hayter, can we get the old Jamie Hayter back and build to something a little bit more meaningful at All In? Seriously?
Please.
Give me a break.
You got to start all over. Fans want to see Jamie back in the position she was before an injury, but don't get it twisted. You got to start all over with her. You got to start all that momentum that she had before her injury. That's gone. You killed that the moment you brought her back on the fucking pre-show. That went out of the window. And we got shit on by half the fucking community for thinking that. Look where we are now with Jamie Hayter.
Gee, man, I'm still waiting for my apologies from that day. You think they'll ever come?
I mean, look, we talked about, Mercedes didn't build anybody up. People want to sit here, people in this chat, they want to shit on Britt Baker. She's nothing. She hasn't done anything. Britt Baker put Jamie Hayter over. Britt Baker is the reason that Jamie Hayter got as popular as she did. And that's all gone now.
Yes, through storytelling. Imagine.
Yep.
Let me at him! Let me at him, Scoob!
Yes.
Can we move on, please?
Fucking hell.
Jesus fucking Christ. Kenny Omega, Konosuke Takeshita with Don Callis. This is for the AEW International Championship. Bro, is there any more of a perfect wrestler in AEW than Konosuke Takeshita? The guy's fucking phenomenal. He's just great.
That and maybe Kyle Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher, too. They got some Swerve. I mean, listen, talent is not the problem in AEW. It's never been the problem. It's the fucking writing team. It's the creative. Look at the talent on this fucking show alone. Kenny Omega, fourth match back from diverticulitis. This is his first PLE or pay-per-view. I'm sorry, sickos. I called it a PLE. I'm sorry. Crucify me like Bully Ray. Pay-per-view. Sorry. Kenny Omega, first pay-per-view back on AEW television outside of his appearance at World's End, where he comically handed the Continental Championship to Kazuchika Okada as an EVP. Gee, I wonder where they're going. This was a great match. I felt like, and this is AEW's problem.
Wait a minute.
What?
Didn't they come out and tell us that Kenny Omega was an EVP?
Yes.
Because he was now the EVP because Christopher Daniels down.
Yeah,
Then Kenny Omega just told us that he was no longer an EVP.
I wish I had the gif of Will Smith in that movie, just doing the fucking thing, forgetting your memory, you know?
What the fuck? I mean...
And Men in Black.
They just did this. Why is Christopher Daniels no longer an EVP? Because he gave it to Kenny Omega. So now we're mixing up kayfabe and reality. I thought Kenny Omega was an EVP. Okay, well, he wasn't, but now he is in place of Christopher Daniels. Then why is he out here telling us that he's not an EVP? Which one is it?
Jesse is not supposed to remember this information. Oh. Let's delete his memory here live on the live stream. What happened back in December was never seen on television. Ooh.
So insulting sometimes, man. You don't want to insult the intelligence of your audience.
You really man. Listen, I don't know what to tell you, man. Kenny Omega and Takeshita, this was a great match, but I'm going to be blatantly honest with you guys, as I usually am. This could have been shaved about 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Not every Kenny Omega match, not every Konosuke Takeshita match needs to go fucking 28 minutes. Okay?
Here's the thing, though. Let me pause you right there. Here's the problem. The problem here is where we start getting into match placement because they had to follow the women.
Yeah.
It's going to take them some time to get out of first gear. The crowd is, decompressing. They're coming back from bathroom breaks, everything else. It's going to take them some time to get the crowd behind them. And that's exactly what happened here. The crowd wasn't immediately into this.
Yeah,
But these are two guys who will get the crowd into it, but they're going to need some time.
Yeah, this is the amateur and Tony Khan putting this match card together. I don't know why you took those two matches, the Brody King and Okada match, and then the Outrunners and Hersenegger, and put them back to back. They were 2-0 matches back to back. And then you want to give us fucking banger after banger after banger. I mean, the crowd's going to be fucking dead by the time we get to the main event. You could have used those two matches to your advantage and put them in the middle of all these other matches that should have gotten a better reaction, but didn't because the crowd was exhausted. Yeah. I mean, now looking back at it, that's probably what he should have done, but who knows what they were thinking when they were putting this shit together. But this went way too long, in my honest opinion. Not that it was a bad match. It could have been shaved 10 minutes. Easy. Yeah. Omega wins. He's now the AEW International Champion. Gee, I wonder why they did that move. And this was built around the Omega and Don Callis situation, which I thought ended, but all of a sudden was picked back up because the Elite were off television and they had nothing else for Omega to do. Yeah. And then Takeshita beat Omega, I believe, 2 times in the same week. So that is what they were going with here. And this was Omega's first win over Takeshita since Takeshita's been with AEW. So we'll pick... I'm sorry, Chaz, again.
I'm sorry. I think the way they structured this feud makes sense and was done well. Because you got Kenny putting over Takeshita to help make him the big dominant name that he is. Yeah. As opposed to Kenny just beating him off the rip first time. No, Takeshita won 2, and Kenny finally won 1, and it was for the title. I think as far as structuring and help, building up another character. So we just talked about, well, who did Mercedes build up? Who did Kenny Omega build up? Takeshita.
We'll get to that as the ending of the match. I really like the ending here, and oh my goodness. We got a $100 bomb by Iron Zen. Some great matches, but I just feel like I've seen it 100 times before. I can't pinpoint it specifically, but there is something with AEW that feels so much more repetitive than WWE. It's also ironic that in this bloodbath show, Moxley was the only one to not bleed. Yeah. That is very true, Iron Zen, and that was their first Super Chat live on stream. That's going to get another fucking round of applause.
Appreciate that.
Iron Zen, thank you, brother. Thank you for being here. Nothing that you said is incorrect whatsoever. It does feel repetitive, and less is more. I've always taken that approach. I've said that about WWE time and time again, and the same thing applies to AEW. But Takeshita here loses the International Championship. We'll pick it up with Don Callis, who's on commentary here getting involved as Omega was going for his signature Terminator dive and was tripped up by Don Callis, who got up off commentary. This distraction allowed Takeshita to fly in with a clothesline over the top before hitting a release German suplex out to the floor. Takeshita flipped over a table that was on the outside, and they go right to working the diverticulitis angle, and the midsection of Kenny Omega here is now jeopardized. He used the side of the table to slam Kenny Omega down on the edge of the table. I thought he was going to actually plant him right on top of the table legs, Jesse, that were upside down. I thought that would have been fucking brutal, but they didn't do that. So from the table spot, we move on, and he turned it to the side and did the same thing. Multiple sentons in the ring. Referee Paul Turner checked on Omega. This delay allowed Takeshita to hit another senton, but Omega got the knees up. Takeshita missed a senton off the second rope. Omega fires up. Takeshita tried a big clothesline attempt, and he was dodged by Omega. And then Snapdragon. Takeshita escapes, faked a high punch, connect on another shot to the midsection. He then charged in, and Omega fired off a V-trigger for a near fall. Omega signaled for another V-trigger, but Takeshita countered into a Blue Thunder Bomb. And I love that Blue Thunder Bomb, man. It's beautiful when Sammy does it. It's beautiful when Takeshita does it. He got a 2 count on that one. Haluva kick from Takeshita. So he's stealing Sammy's moveset here. Who wanted an avalanche Blue Thunder Bomb, but Omega escaped, only for Takeshita to take him out with a lariat in the corner, and that sent him out to the floor. Takeshita climbed to the top. Omega did a springboard sunset bomb for 2. V-trigger to the head. Omega did not have the wherewithal here to hit a one-winged angel because of the stomach issues that Takeshita was exposing here. Takeshita nearly got one of his own one-winged angel. That was not going to happen. So they traded tombstone attempts with Takeshita hitting a tombstone, and then he followed up with a bastard driver for a 2 count. Takeshita hit a power driver knee. Omega kicked out. Takeshita did it again. Only this time Omega kicked out at a 1. So one of the criticisms of this show was that all the high offensive finishes and signatures were basically nothing. All kickouts tonight. And Omega kicked out at a 1. Takeshita hit a big wind-up forearm. He missed Raging Fire. Omega hit a ripcord knee. Pile driver for a 2 count. More pump knees. Takeshita dared Omega for more, but blocked the shot with some big forearms. Omega was there for a V-trigger and then a Poison Rana. Don Callis again got up off on the commentary desk, and Omega hit another V-trigger. He had a tug-of-war with Don Callis over Takeshita, and this distraction allowed Omega and Takeshita to counter each other's finish until Omega got a crucifix, and he wins the International Championship off of a flash crucifix roll-up. 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Now, I looked at the ending, Jesse. Some people did not like the crucifix ending. They wanted a straight, flat-out fucking Kenny Omega one-winged angel finish. But I take it as, and I look at it as in a different way, they actually protected Takeshita because they didn't want to beat him with a one-winged angel. They would rather have went with Kenny Omega fighting from behind and using the diverticulitis angle to have a gutsy come-from-behind victory where he scrapped out of victory and the title while maintaining the allure of Takeshita and protecting him in some way. You don't want to beat him outright for the championship because then where does he go? At least now he's got, the excuse of, well, I barely lost by the skin of my fucking teeth, and he can go on to whatever he does next instead of losing to the one-winged angel and then goodbye. I didn't mind the ending. I actually thought it was pretty well done.
Yeah, no, I agree. You have to protect the talent on some level somehow. Everybody can't always win. Losses have to be taken, but it doesn't mean that you close doors on your future booking, if that makes any sense to anybody who doesn't get what I'm trying to say. So you leave something. I can see Don Callis coming out there next week and saying, you got lucky. It was a fluke roll-up, and if it wasn't for that lucky roll-up, you wouldn't have won, so I won a rematch. I mean, it leaves an opening for either another match, or it leaves an opening for someone to say, you barely beat me, you lucky piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It offers more, it gives you more of a story to tell. I mean, not everything is cut and dry. Every win can't be one winged angel. That's it. Nothing else. If it is, I'm going to complain about it. I mean, you guys are, look, I know you are accustomed to complaining about everything you see on AEW, but sometimes even a broken clock is right twice a day. This was the right call if you're going to beat him. So I did agree with this too.
So Kenny Omega is now the international champion. Okada is now the continental champion. You could see where they're going into All In. That is going to be the match because they teased it at World's End, so you know exactly where they're going. Both will be champions. Will it be a unification match? Will they merge the championships, or will it be just title for title and winner take all? I hope that they unify the belts. We do not need an international and a continental title. I said this on Tuesday with the Solid Monster. Keep the international championship because it's got much more prestige than the continental championship. I would get rid of the continental title, and when the Continental Classic comes back around at the end of the year, I would have the winner of that tournament become the number one contender for the AEW World Championship at Revolution. So that tournament would instantly have more stakes to it than it ever has before, and it would absolutely mean something for television instead of just a useless fucking championship that was only created for this tournament and for Okada. So I don't know where we're going with that. That's what I would do. But clearly you see the vision, and that's the vision for Arlington, Texas. No doubt about it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I'm here for it. Let's see what they do.
Will Ospreay. He went one-on-one with Kyle Fletcher here. Steel cage match. And I think everybody had penned Will Ospreay to win this match, but Fletcher, in a losing effort, kind of stamping his name further into the AEW ranks here. That's exactly what happened, with the big spot included. I thought this was a great steel cage match. I thought this was the way a steel cage match needs to be. I did have a problem with the amount of blood so soon after we got Toni and Mariah, but I guess in this environment, it's called for. I just would have spread them out a little bit more than they did here tonight. Will Ospreay wins, Jesse, and at this point, he needs to do two things. One, he needs to put this Don Callis nonsense behind him. No more. It's over. After this, both guys got to move on and do something else completely. Number two, Will Ospreay needs to now be factored into the World Championship title picture because, the guy's 9-0. He's undefeated this year. He needs to start focusing on the World Championship. Fletcher, I don't know where he goes from here. He is someone in AEW young enough where I hope they keep the momentum going. They've done an admirable job of keeping that momentum coming out of the Continental Classic, where I didn't really think that they were going to do that. I thought he would be in the Classic, lose, and then he'd be largely forgotten. But he needs to go after a singles championships of sorts, whether it's Kenny Omega and the International Championship or the TBS title for Danny Garcia, something. The kid needs something for his efforts here. But Will Ospreay, absolutely no doubt about it, needs to be factored into the world title after this win tonight over Fletcher.
Yeah, I don't know where they go from here. I don't know if they move on from here. I hear what you're saying. They probably should move on, but I don't know if they will or not. I don't see Don being done with Kenny and Will at all. At all. What all four of them, what are they all going to do?
I don't know.
And they're gonna still be involved with each other on some level. They've already done the tag team match. So what do they have left?
I don't know. This is a problem. This is a big problem. Where does Ospreay fit in? Fletcher, he doesn't really have a clear direction in any aspect at all. A random feud with somebody else now after this feud with Ospreay is not going to do him any good. At all.
Tag division? Trios division?
I don't know.
I
don't know, man. This was brutal. This was violent, and this was everything you wanted out of a steel cage match. It might be one of the best steel cage matches that we've seen on American soil in the last 5 years, to be quite honest with you. Now, I will say, the match got started off very slow, and the crowd was dead. I even said this on social media. I never heard a crowd so quiet for a Will Ospreay match. They picked it up at the end because it got really pushed into the next gear, but I never heard a crowd this quiet for a Will Ospreay match. So you could see,
not come down.
I know. I mean,
since the women.
I know. It's crazy. You got to fix that.
We had somebody here in the chat who was at the venue. Can you guys let us know what the energy was like at the beginning of this cage match? I know I saw somebody here that was at the venue of the pay-per-view.
They have to start booking these shows with less matches, or the match lineup should have been altered. You had 2-0 matches on this show that should have been thrown in between all of these banger matches that you loaded up at the end of the show. You can't do that. With an hour and a half pre-show, the fans were already 4 matches in before the main show started, and then you want to bombard us with fucking all these matches in a row to end the show? That's tough, man. I know if I was there, if Jesse was there, man, I would be fucking just waiting for the show to be over. Like, everybody makes fun of WWE's 4-match format and the fucking 10 minutes in between each match, but holy shit, man, I'm not saying AEW used to go to those extremes, but you gotta do something in between. A nice video package. Let's kick it to Renee. Backstage interview of some sort with somebody before the match. What are we doing?
Not to mention when you have matches on the show that didn't even need to be.
No.
You know, starting with the Okada match. You know, when you have matches like that didn't need to be, all of the time that match took, that could have been time cut from the show. Let some stuff, you know, breathe a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a promo package here and there. So, yeah.
So the match, we'll pick it up as soon as Osprey got busted open here. Because he was bleeding buckets here early. The match hadn't even started yet, and he was fucking bleeding. Stun Dog Millionaire by Osprey, who then followed up with an Os Cutter. But he was caught. What happened?
El Barto said he was at the venue. The Okada match was super silent.
Of course it was. It meant nothing. There's nothing there for the fans to invest in. Nothing. It should have been left off the show.
Yeah.
Stun Dog Millionaire, Os Cutter was blocked, and then Osprey got darted into the cage, which busted him open. Fletcher drove Osprey's head into the cage, and then he goes over to the cage and licks the part of the cage that had Osprey's blood on it. I don't know what it is with these guys in this company licking each other's blood and sucking each other's blood like it's a fucking satanic ritual. Ridiculous. It's just disgusting. That wasn't even the worst of it. We got it towards the end as well. So he's bleeding. Fletcher drove Osprey's head into the cage. He licked it. And Osprey answered quickly, climbing the ropes with a flying forearm and hit a sky twister press. Great spot. So he goes for recovery, gets a 2. Osprey fired off a lot of chops here. Fletcher's chest is all red. He went for hidden blade. Fletcher got a big boot and a half and F suplex, and both guys are down. So Fletcher starts ripping away at the buckle pad. Osprey dodged, having his head rammed into it. Fletcher sent him into the buckle and then hit a charging boot before wanting a top roll brainbuster. Osprey got out of it, hit Cheeky Nando's, and then that was against the exposed buckle, and then a catapult move, which launched Fletcher into the cage, busting him open now as well. So both guys are busted open. Osprey took too long climbing the ropes. He got crotched. Both fought up top. Osprey drove Fletcher repeatedly into the corner of the cage. Leap of faith connected by Osprey. He goes for recovery, gets a near fall. Fletcher avoided a Stormbreaker. He crotched Osprey in the ropes before hitting a massive Liger bomb. So both men are just physically just spent at this point. Fletcher fired off some Kawada kicks, and he starts licking the blood off his hand to realize that Osprey rose to his feet. So more Kawada kicks from Osprey. He returned the favor, and then he licked his hand, and both trade Kawada kicks at this point. So Osprey tried a hidden blade, and Fletcher hits a thrust kick. Back and forth counters. Fletcher wanted a Liger bomb. Osprey popped into a snap DDT. He spun out of the Stormbreaker and spiked Osprey with a brainbuster for a 2 count. All of a sudden, we see Mark Davis. He's shown walking down the ramp, and he's got a bag in his hands, and in the bag are bolt cutters. I mean, the steel cage match is used to keep people from the outside not getting in, but here we got some random fucking dude just walking in. Let me use the bolt cutters to open up the fucking cage. I mean, it's the same shit all the time with these steel cage matches. So he bolt cutters the door. He gets the door open. Osprey pulled the door shut, but it was to sucker Davis to climb the steps so we could smash the door into Davis's face. So the bag is now in the ring. and it had a barbed wire baseball bat in it as well. Ospreay wound up using the bat to Fletcher in the ribs and across the back before raking it across his face. So he did the bang bang like Cactus Shack does before he did that. Fletcher begged off, and he takes out of his trunks a United Empire armband, as if anybody knows what the fuck this is. United Empire armband, and he held up the hand signal, and he flipped Ospreay. Ospreay flipped him off. He went for a big home run shot, but Fletcher hit a diving low blow. Fletcher then takes the armband and starts wiping the blood from his face with the armband and shoved the bloody armband with his blood on it into Ospreay's mouth. I don't know why. I really don't get it. I mean, if there's any sort of diseases going on backstage, you now know why. Fletcher got the bat. He missed a wild shot. Ospreay took his head off with a hidden blade, followed by a Stormbreaker. Davis, he gets into the ring and fucking breaks up the count, and he's all of a sudden bloody because Ospreay slammed the door into his face a couple of minutes before this. So Davis helped Fletcher up. He screams at Ospreay that he wanted this. Aussie Open wanted, to take out Ospreay. Ospreay flipped up into a Poison Rana on Fletcher. He punched a chair into Davis's face. They got Davis out of the ring before relocking the cage finally. Ospreay scaled the side of the cage and leapt off into a super Os cutter for a 2 count. Kick out. Ospreay wrapped barbed wire around his arm as Fletcher tried escaping by climbing the cage. Fletcher all of a sudden had a screwdriver that was planted perfectly on top of the steel cage and jabbed it into the head of Ospreay, and he licks the screwdriver with Ospreay's blood on it. I don't understand it.
What the fuck?
I really don't get it. An Ospreay shot to the head with the screwdriver, and he fucking just acts like nothing happened. Ospreay ducked another corner shot after he continues a beatdown on Ospreay, does Fletcher. Hit him in the ribs, hit him in the head again. He ducks a corner shot. He wanted a Styles Clash. Fletcher rolled through into a brain buster. Fletcher then sets up a chair, and like we saw on Wednesday, a brain buster on the chair. Ospreay is legitimately taking a fucking beating here. Kick out, kick out, kick out. He brings in a bag of thumbtacks. He wanted another brain buster. Counted into a Styles Clash. Did Ospreay on Fletcher on the thumbtacks. Only for Fletcher to somehow kick out after a Styles Clash on thumbtacks. So Fletcher escaped hidden blade. He scaled the top of the cage with Ospreay, screwdriver in his mouth. They battle over the screwdriver on top of the cage until Ospreay connected with a screwdriver shot to the head. They get in position. Ospreay hits a super Spanish fly off the top of the steel cage, which had me fucking scared for these guys' lives. Excalibur and commentary did not say a fucking word until they landed on the mat. And
they were fucking terrified.
Everybody in the crowd was fucking terrified that somebody was going to die here, and it ended up being an incredible spot. So after the Spanish fly, Ospreay got up. Fletcher is screaming, "I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you," before having his head taken off with a hidden blade. Tiger Driver 91, 1, 2, 3, and Ospreay wins this steel cage match. Was it over the top? Yes. Was there an excessive amount of blood? Yes. Was there kick out after kick out after kick out with some ridiculous fucking spots? Of course it is. That's AEW's motto. But was it a great steel cage match? Yes, it was. I can't take away from the performances here, Jesse. Again, the minor criticisms of the blood and the way that this show was spaced out. All in all, I mean, I say it every time, and you could attest to this. There's nothing like a Will Ospreay match. It started off slow. They got the crowd into it at the end. Tremendous body work from both guys. I truly hope that Ospreay's now moved on to the world title, and they know what the fuck they're doing with Kyle Fletcher, because his last 8 to 9 months have been tremendous, and he deserves a payoff of some sort for what he's been able to do, man. This was great.
It was. We were watching it. So when we were looking at it, we also stopped and paused and watched. We thought that they were going to land on the thumbtacks from the top of the cage.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like, please don't. Please don't. Please don't. But then they landed off to the side. Look, these things happen in pro wrestling. You know, the excessive kickouts, the big spots, the thumb. These things happen in pro wrestling. But this particular match, to me, feels like it checked all of the boxes as far as this is when it's supposed to happen. Too many times this stuff happens unnecessarily, and it feels like this match is taking strays because of the other matches that do this excessively. It was all warranted here. You just got to couple that with the fact that we just got what the women did earlier, the spacing of the card, and it just feels like it was too much. The feud called for it, the spots, everything else, it was all warranted. It was just on the card where they just did it not that long ago and it wasn't spaced out properly. So I'm with you. I enjoyed the match entirely. I thought it was fucking great. I didn't let what the women did earlier bleed into my enjoyment of the match. I thought it was fantastic. I think it added to the overall vibe of the whole pay-per-view, which was a good show.
Will Ospreay is incredible. I don't really get some of the Will Ospreay hate that I usually see. I know AEW tends to overdo things, you know, kick out after kick out after kick out off of big spots and big spots that don't lead to an end of a match. I get it. You know, we've been through it. I wish that they would change their ways sometimes because less is more. But, I mean, for Will Ospreay's sake, I hope he's all right because he was limping away. He looked like he was holding his hip. That Spanish fly could not have felt good at all off the top of the cage. But World Championship in his future, no doubt about it. And that's where he needs to be punched in. Absolutely. I mean, it's time. I mean, he's been here for, 2 years now? This is it. I mean, I don't know why they haven't done it sooner, but he needs to be in the world title hunt now. And they need to get back to that.
Bro, this guy, Patrick S., he just got killed by a hologram.
Did he? Patrick S.
Which is fine. Needs to be.
Yeah. I don't see a Patrick. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Patrick. AEW is trash. Okay.
Then he says, you clowns are fucking marks. Now, here's the thing about this guy. And this is why I'm bringing this up. We can see his chat history and everything else. This guy has been a subscriber of your channel for 10 fucking years. 10 years. And tonight, we're marks.
How do you see chat history? You could go to his chat history?
Yeah.
Channel activity.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know you could do that. Look at that.
We can see everything you guys ever chatted in the stream. We can see it all pops up.
Patrick S., you've been a subscriber here for 10 fucking years, and your messages in this chat on March 10th, 2025 are, you clowns are fucking marks, LMAO, and AEW is trash. I mean, you people are, I hate using this word, but I use it when I'm most angry. You people are fucking retards. I swear to God. I mean, I don't really get... You're in my chat at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, and you're saying that after 10 years.
10 years.
3 o'clock.
Wow.
3 o'clock.
He's never been banned before until now. That's it.
I don't... Bro, this... I swear to God. And people call me the cancer of the community. You believe that? People call me the unstable one.
I don't understand people.
I don't get it. You're in my chat at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're a subscriber for 10 years and calling me a fucking mark? Why? Because I'm speaking positively about AEW? I can't win with you people. What do you want me to do? What? All the positivity is going to fall on that locker room's deaf fucking ears. You won't hear one fucking person say, hey, man, I'm glad you enjoyed my match. Thanks for the positivity tonight.
No, but they'll definitely...
No, but when I call out something that fucking sucks, then you'll see that and say JD's a dumbass or JD's a fucking mark.
Yep. Amazing shit, bro. I looked at that. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. For 10 Years. He held all of that in for 10 years. And tonight, he finally exploded with, you guys are fucking marks. That's amazing. That's fucking amazing.
MK Pandy in the chat says he booked his heel turn to perfection.
He
Laughing my
did. He did. What the
Oh
fuck?
my goodness, man.
He picked his moment, man. This guy's been here a long
You can't
ass
win. You can't win. The people who are hate watching have already clipped the show with the fucking simple minor criticisms I had of the show, and they'll blast it on social media and expose me, quote unquote, for hating AEW. Meanwhile, 90% of this review has been gleaming with positivity. You won't hear a fucking word about anything positive we said tonight. Not a single fucking word.
No.
Not a
I just
single
thought that
word.
was amazing. I just thought that was fucking amazing.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. People
We can see how many subscribers you guys have on your fucking YouTube channels.
That is crazy.
We can see everything.
That's crazy. What is even crazier is this main event. This should not have been the main event. This is awful. Somebody needs to sit down with Tony Khan and have some sort of intervention. He needs to go to whatever is familiar or the same as a fucking Alcoholics Anonymous meeting or a fucking drug rehab meeting. Something needs to happen here. I don't know if he's given Jon Moxley full creative control and decisions over who he wrestles and outcomes over matches. Someone needs to step in and end this shit once and for all. Looking back at it now, this should not have main evented. This should have been somewhere in the middle of the show because it's the worst storyline maybe in the history of the company. And Jon Moxley is going down and ruining all of his credibility. At one point, this guy was a savior and a hero to this brand, to this company. And this guy is now legitimately sabotaging the company from within. I don't know how anybody looks at this as a positive. I don't know how anybody thinks this is good or good television. I don't even know what the fuck this storyline is and where it's supposed to go. Started off with the youngsters and people needing to step up, and now all of a sudden it's devolved into fucking Adam Copeland challenging for the World Championship. Imagine that. AEW in 2025, Jesse, has Dean Ambrose versus Edge in the main event after 5 years. Who would have thought we were here tonight for this main event? Unbelievable.
Yeah. You know what? Now thinking about it for a minute, in hindsight, they probably could have opened the show with this instead. It gives it that if you're not going to main event the show, then you open the show. Open the show with it, and then get into the women right after that.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, not the women, the cage match, sorry. Then get into the cage match right after that, and then have the women close.
Yeah.
But yeah, spot on. The card would have been such a higher grade if they did better match placement all around, for sure. You got to know what you're gonna present to the people, man. You got if you know you have two bloodbaths on our hands, you absolutely got to space that shit out, and those should be the only two bloodbaths, by the way. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, this was bad. Someone in the chat says it was that bad. Yeah, it was that bad. This was awful. The crowd could not have been bothered to give a single solitary fuck about what happened here. Yeah. And I am. Let me go here. I mentioned something earlier in the stream, and I want to read this to you because it's now becoming a problem, and we are where we are right now. And I know someone there is probably going to debunk this and say, "Oh, it's not a problem." Blah 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 blah. Listen, Adam Copeland has been in AEW now for what? 2 years? He's wrestled, his first AEW match was against Luchasaurus. That was back on 10/10/2023. You go up and down his match list here, Jesse, on cagematch.net. The only one that he's lost to is Christian Cage. The only one that he's lost to.
Yeah,
Dante Martin, Lee Moriarty, Minoru Suzuki, Danny Garcia, Matt Cardona, Penta. Singles matches I'm talking about. Buddy Matthews, Brody King, Kyle O'Reilly, Malachi Black, Brisbane Brawl he wrestled just recently. He beats Pac. He beat Wheeler Yuta. I mean, has he put over anybody outside Christian Cage in his entire time here in AEW? No.
No.
So now we're supposed to look at someone like Adam Copeland, who, you know, we look at Mercedes and say the same thing about Mercedes. I think it's fair to now kind of have that same discussion about Adam Copeland. Has he put over anybody in his 2 years in AEW? The answer is no. We started the storyline off with Danny Garcia and Orange Cassidy and Hook and Private Party and Darby Allin. And now, from October to March, we're looking at Adam Copeland as the guy who's trying to save AEW from the Death Riders. How the fuck did we even get here? While Jesse's chewing away on something.
I'm so hungry, man. I had a sandwich.
How did we get here?
It's... You know, I didn't really think about it in its totality, but yeah, man, he's here. I mean, I'm happy he's here. I'm sure the locker room, well, I'm assuming the locker room is happy that he's here. But yeah, it wouldn't be fair to say that Mercedes is not putting anyone over and not bring Copeland into that very same discussion. Who is he uplifting? Nobody. I mean, he's not helping Moxley. Moxley's already over. He's literally the briefcase champion right now. So, what is he doing?
Not doing anything.
No, it sucks. Is he running his own creative back there too?
I'm sure he is. Tony's not going to tell these guys no. He's a fucking mark. He's starstruck when he looks at these guys. It's awful.
Yeah.
How is this your main event in 2025 when you got Swerve and Ricochet and MJF and Adam Page and Will Ospreay on your roster and Konosuke Takeshita? This.
Yeah.
You had the one opportunity to end this garbage that's ruining your television, and you opt to continue it going into April? Who made that decision? And who looked at Tony and said, you know what, boss man, that's a good idea? And what happened to Wheeler Yuta, who shook Edge's hand on Wednesday? That's what respect looks like. He walked out on Moxley, only to show up here and fucking defend Jon Moxley. Why did you waste my time watching television on Wednesday? Not one change. Right back to the Death Rider shit. There he is, out there helping Jon Moxley.
Wow. People said, who has Jericho put over? Jericho has helped others get over. You guys can say what you want about it. Jericho has helped others get over.
Jericho has done his part, but then creative after that has done nothing. Or they remained in a feud with Jericho so long that whatever worked in the beginning just fucking flipped back to the way it was before he feuded.
Them back in that direction.
Yeah. This main event was terrible. I'm sorry. I don't know. The main event is usually the most important thing on the show. This was fucking awful with one of the worst endings that AEW's ever given us for a pay-per-view ending. So we'll pick it up after Wheeler Yuta walks out because the crowd was dead for this. Dead.
In my predictions and previews, I literally called this match was going to be an overbooked clusterfuck. I think those are my exact words. This is going to be an overbooked clusterfuck. I can see it already. And it's exactly what it was.
So we'll pick it up when Wheeler Yuta got in there. Moxley was about to deliver a concerto to Adam Copeland. So he takes too long, like he's fucking in the batter's box, fucking doing practice swings. He's just fucking swinging the steel chair, lining up his concerto. And then all of a sudden, Cope kicked the chair into Moxley's face. They both get to their feet, double down with a double clothesline. Wheeler Yuta walks to the ring. He was left to make a decision. Oh my goodness. He took out Cope with a Busaiku knee to the surprise of nobody.
Whole fucking arena, everybody in my house, we were all on pins and needles waiting to find out who Yuta was going to choose.
Oh my God, man. Wheeler Yuta, who is he going to align with?
Here we go.
He grabbed the briefcase and gave it to Moxley. The briefcase that has the AEW World Championship in it, by the way, that we did not see here. Switchblade Jay White hit the ring to take out Wheeler Yuta. White got his hands on the briefcase. He swung for Moxley. Moxley ducked, and he accidentally hits Cope before brawling with Yuta to the back. Moxley makes a cover as Bryce Remsburg was taken out before, and he gets in there and makes a slow count. 1, 2, and Cope kicked out. Moxley again is yelling at Bryce Remsburg, taking too long. Cope gets up. Moxley still yelling at Remsburg. Cope hits a spear, and he gets Moxley down in a 2 count. Moxley kicks out. Cope connected on a second spear, and then a third spear. Bryce Remsburg was about to make the count, and someone pulls him out from outside in a hoodie, and it was revealed that Christian Cage is on the outside in the hoodie. He smacked Cope in the head with his contract, and he signs the contract there, making this now a official 3-way. So they tried to switch it up and not have it be the same as the WWE Money in the Bank contract. The difference is he's been carrying around a contract that has been unsigned, and he had to sign it in the moment right before he cashed it in. That's the difference. Same thing, same premise, but he didn't sign it until he got out there.
Just a loophole into their and I'm like you, they did add a little different, a different element there,
and they could have used that different element to give me something different here as the outcome. They didn't do it.
Right, why would Christian Cage not have pre-signed that contract so that someone can't take it and sign it and take his opportunity?
I don't know.
Why did he have to wait to the last second?
I don't know. It could have been anybody. Could have been anybody to fucking take us away from this terrible story. I don't understand it. Christian Cage is out there. He signs the contract. He makes this now an official 3-way. So now it turns from Cope and Mox to Cope, Mox, and Christian. I'm like, all right, let's get Christian as the world champion and get the fuck out of here. Honestly, that's the way I wanted it to end. I predicted that Cope would lose the match or win the match, and we'd get Jay White to cash in the contract because it's unsigned. He'd turn on Cope and then beat Cope for the world championship, and he would become the world champion. I think everybody would have loved that. Everybody would have loved to see that, but clearly that didn't happen. So Cage hits a spear on Cope. He only gets a 2. Cage connected on a kill switch on Cope, but Moxley flew in with a bulldog choke. Now Cage put his hand on Cope while in the bulldog choke, and that operated as a pin count, a 2 count, only because Cope got his shoulder up. So after that, he just faded away, and Moxley had the bulldog choke on him, and Cage is passed out. And the fans have to endure Moxley retaining the championship at the end of this match, at the end of this show, and he quickly gets out of Dodge, jumps into the crowd, and he escapes with the world championship. I'm like, what did I just watch here? This ending was so void of any creativity whatsoever. I was stunned at the level of fucking incompetence and laziness here. You mean to tell me that you, opted to keep this terrible fucking storyline going that is basically running amok on your television show, and the ratings and interest are absolutely the worst they've ever been. You've opted to keep this storyline going in midst of all that, which is unbelievable to me. Number 2, you had an opportunity with the loophole that this contract provided to not give us a shocking outcome, to at least try to take away some of the thunder from John Cena turning heel last Saturday, and you opted to do nothing. And instead keep Jon Moxley as the world champion. You could have had Swerve out there sign the contract. You could have had Adam Page sign the contract. You could have had MJF go out there in a losing effort and sign the fucking contract to become the world champion. And you didn't do it. No, but Jon Moxley's still the world champion. As if anybody wants to see this continue on for another week. We got another 5 weeks of this till Dynasty. I don't believe what we saw, Jesse. I don't believe what we have to sit here and endure for another 5 weeks.
Yeah, and again, if you've been with this stream since the beginning, you've been there for the long haul, thank you. And we know it's running late. But I also said earlier that I'm going to be fair to this pay-per-view, man. I'm not going to come here and just shit on it just because people like us shitting on AEW. I'm going to be fair. And I'm going to stick to that right now. This was trash. All around, it wasn't entertaining. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't anything to make us go, oh my goodness, did you see that last night? It gave us, did you see that crap last night? I mean, you had every ample opportunity to make this into something special, like he just said. And you just did the polar opposite. And we still have the same crap at the top of the card that we did not want anymore. I think it was an epic fail. It was this main event, the whole ending, the whole segment, the story they gave us, the way they executed it. I think it was the one thing that's going to pull the overall value of this pay-per-view down. It's not good.
Yeah, I don't believe it. This is what they came up with as an ending for the show. I swear to God, someone was sitting on the fucking toilet taking their morning constitutional, and they came up with this ending in literally 3 minutes. That's exactly what they did. They put zero effort into ending this show. No surprises, no unpredictability. It's like they're allergic to unpredictability. You have this loophole in your contract that you made different, comparing it to WWE's Money in the Bank contract, and you opt to do nothing to change that. I don't believe it. There's like 12 guys on this roster I'd rather see as the world champion, and here we are since October with Jon Moxley still as the world champion. Thankfully, they have Swerve Strickland out there, who Moxley ran out of the fucking building. He was met by Nana wearing the robe, who stopped him from leaving the building, and Swerve is on the mezzanine or the balcony and jumps off one of the guardrails in the audience above onto Jon Moxley and onto some security. He delivers the Swerve Stomp, and the show goes off the air with Swerve claiming he's going to win the AEW World Championship because this is his house. This is his company. I mean, that cannot come soon enough. If that is the end, I mean, we were talking about Darby. We were talking about one of the youngsters. Then we go on to fucking Orange Cassidy and Adam Page and Jay White and now Copeland and now back to fucking Swerve. I mean, where is it going to end? It better end with Swerve in Philadelphia at Dynasty. Otherwise, I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. I really don't. Swerve is the new world champion come April, and then we move on and start building MJF and Hangman and Osprey. Put Jay White in that discussion. I mean, we need some top-tier fucking talent, not named Jon Moxley, in the world title picture. That's what needs to happen here. But Swerve's inclusion here, Jesse, didn't save the fucking match or the outcome. I mean, it just got people excited and fucking holding their breath for 5 weeks until this fucking mercifully comes to an end.
No. I mean, they just gave us a little preview, a little teaser into what we already knew because it was a number one contenders match, so we knew we were getting it. And, I mean, I don't know. Dude, it doesn't say when we get that match. Why is it assumed that it can only be at the next pay-per-view in 5 fucking weeks? It's like Groundhog fucking Day, and we just saw a shadow. We got to wait for fucking 5-6 weeks.
I mean, what else do they have for a major pay-per-view match?
Don't they do pop-up specials in between pay-per-views? You know, the I don't know, winter is fucking coming or whatever the fuck.
Whatever.
Is this
what? I mean, they just trademarked something with spring break or whatever the fuck they just trademarked.
Do we have an Australian pay-per-view coming up that we can change into?
I don't know, man.
We can change into a high-profile TV show.
This shit sucks. The worst fucking main event ending to a pay-per-view that they've ever had in 5 years. In 5 years. I don't believe it. But thank you guys for joining us here on the podcast tonight. It is late. We're going to read through your super chats and then get the fuck out of here and hopefully get some sleep. Thank you guys very much for all of your support. We have killed it tonight. 3,200 in here on a fucking Monday morning at 3:30, man. You guys are crazy.
Give you guys yourselves a round of applause.
Yeah, and we got another 8,000 views on X. Crazy, man. Thank you guys very much. By the time this finishes and publishes, man, we may be looking at a 50,000 view podcast tonight for this Revolution 2025 post show. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell for notifications. Go follow Jesse on YouTube and on X at Chi-Town Smark. Go and check out all the other content on this channel. There's plenty of it. Be live again during Monday Night Raw this evening. Punk and Rollins, Madison Square Garden, Monday Night Raw. Possibly seeing the return of Roman Reigns as the road to WrestleMania continues. And then obviously a brand new week of content. Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Titans with the Solid Monster. And Wednesday night back here with Jesse on the Dynamite Fallout from Revolution. Also, Super Chats will remain open. Get them on in. Let's hit up, who was number one? Michael Krause is always number one. Good Sunday, JD, OTS. How's everyone today? Let's go at 3:30 p.m. Thank you, Michael. Daniel Easterday with a new membership. That's not true because I see a Mustang emote next to his name. So thank you, Daniel, for the recommitment to the VIP section. Michael Krause with a 2. Jesse, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nate. $5 Super Chat coming to us from Australia, mate. TK needs to learn how to use blood. Look at KO and Sammy. No blood to make an impact on the Cody blood. When do you think Speedball is on TV? Max Lost Sucks. I'm assuming he means MJF. He'll be fine. Yeah, Sammy and KO, listen, that could have used blood, but they opted to not do it because they were going to do it in the Cody and Rock angle at the end of the show, which they did. Yeah, Tony needs to take some lessons. For sure. Joey Taylor with a $5 Super Chat. Revolution 6 out of 10. The Death Rider storyline is killing AEW. Tony, please fire that hack, RJ City. I believe RJ has something to do with it, but I believe Moxley is booking himself into oblivion here, honestly.
I mean, I don't understand you guys. You know exactly so much that RJ City is responsible for what you're not happy about. You're ready for this man to lose his job. You know that with absolute certainty. What the fuck?
I guess Joey Taylor works there, bro. What can I tell you?
I mean, he must. You just not like RJ City for a different reason? What do
He
you
must
know
be
that we don't
he
know?
must be Tony Khan's intern. I have no idea.
What do you know about RJ City's role in creative that we don't know to the point where you're ready to fire that man?
Scripts. 42 months. The pay-per-view was okay, but the ending was shit. Yeah, it was. Inferno Fireboy with a new membership. Thank you, brother. Action Waffle with a new membership. Inferno Boy and Action Waffle chat. What the fuck are they drinking? What I want to know. At 3:30 in the morning, I don't know. Maybe you're getting ready for breakfast. Who the fuck knows?
All right.
Nice cold glass of orange juice. Richie V with a $5 super chat. Tony booked the worst main event ending I've ever seen. They wasted their Money in the Bank gimmick, Christian, just so Edge didn't take the fall. What a disgrace. Yeah. Oh, that's why I read off his match schedule in AEW. I mean, he hasn't put anybody over. He can't even lose to Jon Moxley. He had to go into this main event making this into a triple threat, so his best friend took the pinfall or the submission here. It's crazy.
Wait, did they even? What kind of story did they build for Christian Cage coming out of this debacle? He can't even blame Copeland for him losing. I mean,
he cannot.
He lost to the champion.
He cannot blame anybody but himself.
Yeah.
Not Jay White.
Because of you cost me my opportunity. No, you cost yourself.
He can't blame Jay White. He can't blame Luchasaurus. He can't blame Nick Wayne or Mama Wayne. Kip Sabian. Nobody. What a clusterfuck. Oh my.
Watch. What they told us is that they made a mistake putting that contract on Christian Cage.
That's exactly what they said. They said, we don't have the creative manpower to make sense of this. We're lazy. That's exactly what they did. Chris McCarty with a $2 super chat ×2 coming to us from Canada. Horseface Edwards -5 stars out of a maybe 1. And then he says, my 1-incher is stiff for you, daddy, JD. You believe that, Jesse?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that, brother. Brett Hawkins with the $10 super chat. JD, great work as always. I was a huge AEW fan in 21 when CM Punk came in, but the product is unrecognizable today. I watched the last 2 matches on a free service and still felt ripped off. Well, the steel cage match was great, but I mean the ending.
These people busted their fucking asses tonight.
The main event was awful, Brett. The main event was awful. Pittsburgh boy with a 199. They made Christian look like an idiot tonight. They did. They did. I mean, well, the creative looks like an idiot most weeks, but yeah, that was bad. Ben Callanan with 11 months. Hey, JD and Jesse, hope you are both doing well. Keen for a great OTS tonight and to see what both of your takes are. That was at 12:41 a.m. We were just getting started. Thank you, Ben. Johnny with a 21. R.I.P. Finn Balor. I don't know what that means, but I guess someone else takes the name Finn Balor now. Someone else takes the pins. Chris McCarty with the $2 super chat coming to us from Canada. Toni needs to quit and go into the corn industry. No, she doesn't. Be respectful, Chris. Meta.
Tony Khan.
No, Tony with an I. Metabolism with a $9.99. I owned up to it on X, and I'm going to do it here as well. I misread your statement and replied to something you never said. For my idiocy, take these $10, and you gentlemen have a great show. Well, thank you, Meta. You don't really see somebody in the community own up to something. It's great.
Exactly.
There you go. Let's make that a regular thing. Mr. Team Bring It with a $4.99. I was there live. Truly enjoyed the pay-per-view. Crowd was electric. Main event was whatever, but best match of the night for me was the steel cage match. It was a great match.
Always fun in person, man.
Yeah, it was a great match. I preferred Swerve and Ricochet. That was my match tonight, but to each his own.
For me, it was Tony and Mariah.
There you go. Haley Lucas with the 2. Jay White deserves better. I agree. Where are the guns? Where's the Bang Bang Gang? I have no fucking idea. I would have had Jay White walk out as the champion. At least it would have been something different.
I'm wondering where so many different people are right about now at this stage.
I don't know.
It's just too many. Camille. What happened with Camille?
Who?
Exactly.
I don't know, man. Justin with a $1.99. Screw the haters. I love your opinions. JD and Jesse. Thank you, Justin.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Introverted Gamer with a 5. I feel like the blood was overdone so much because AEW is still trying to overshadow the John Cena heel turn, to be honest. Big fans of you and Jesse. They could fucking pour buckets of blood from the ceiling and have everybody bleed tonight. It doesn't matter. Nothing was going to overtake John Cena. Nothing.
That's awesome.
It's on a different fucking planet.
The only thing wrong with that statement is people have been complaining about AEW and blood for fucking years.
Yeah.
Cena turned heel a week ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. The Mog with a $5 super chat coming to us from Canada. Chi-Town Smark and JD. You guys continue to lead the way. Shout out to TNT. Fuck those critics and haters continuing to make me want to do better. Well, I appreciate that, Mog. Thank you.
thank you.
Also to 2, he says, Adam Cole is on the first thing out of AEW. I certainly hope so. Triple H would, I could tell you right now, Triple H would love to have Adam Cole back. I think Triple H was very upset when Adam Cole left the company because Vince didn't want to let him fucking twitch. You believe that?
Oh, Vince wanted him to be a goddamn manager, too.
Yeah.
Oh, they should make Adam Cole Bobby Lashley's man.
Yeah, sure. Sure thing. Dwayne Jackson, thank you for the 100 earlier, brother. Appreciate you. 100 in super chat from our guy, Dwayne Jackson. Jay Barker, 31 months. 31 months. What's up? What's up, brother? Dwayne Jackson comes in with another 50. He says, JD, honestly, I think the pre-show was a waste. Why can't they use Collision as their pre-show before their pay-per-views? Well, we did get a Collision on Saturday. It was just like a pre-show. There was a bunch of nothing matches, and I'm sure Collision Corner this week is going to be another fucking disaster.
Hey, you will not judge Collision until I tell you what to think about Collision this coming Wednesday. So.
Sure. Glow J with a $2. Dwayne, thank you, bro. That's a lot of money tonight, man. I appreciate you. Glow J with a 2. JD, you and Jesse rock. Ignore the haters. Thank you, Glow J. We usually do, but when it's sheer stupidity, we have to call out the stupidity. Jay Bark with a 10. Did you hear Tony Schiavone's interview with the actress that broke the kayfabe in front of everyone on pay-per-view? Yes, I didn't. Whatever.
Why?
Whatever.
Bro, why would you put a live microphone in front of someone who does not know how to conduct themselves as a wrestling fan and have them say some shit like that? What the fuck, man? Give her something to say. Ask her what she's going to say. And when she said that, you should have been like, no. Don't say that. Say something else. Say this. Don't say that. That will trigger the hardcore fans. You don't say things like that blatantly out loud. Even though no one watching this show paid $50 for it and didn't know that the outcome is scripted?
She don't care.
No one.
She doesn't care. She probably is fucking, she's probably drunk at some fucking Hollywood after party and she's getting fucking plowed by 3 different guys. It doesn't fucking matter. Who gives a shit?
I need my disclaimer put up. Disclaimer. Not that his opinions are.
She's
of
probably
him.
in the middle of some satanic Hollywood ritual. It doesn't fucking matter, man. Who gives a shit? These people don't give a fuck about normal everyday people, man. They're all a bunch of... They're nothing but Hollywood elite trash. They don't care. Who gives a shit?
Yes, the elite do not care about us regular folk.
They don't. And she doesn't care about a fucking single wrestling fan. She's there to collect a paycheck and do a fucking partner movie. That's all she's doing. Jay Barker, thank you, brother. Mr. Noob with the $20 super chat. Plunder, blood, excessive high spots, and kickouts are like having next-door neighbors that fight every night in the front yard. I'll grab a beer and watch a few times, but eventually it just gets old and the cops get called. Sounds like my parents. Thanks, Mr. Noob. I agree, though. Yes.
For the love of God, people, Kendrick Lamar was not there tonight.
No, the talent act supposedly for Kendrick Lamar because Drake was sitting front row at the Elimination Chamber and they need some sort of attention on them.
I've saw all the reports that you saw. I saw how you reported it. No one anywhere said that Kendrick would be here tonight.
No.
Nobody.
No. Nobody.
Nobody.
I didn't say it. Sap didn't say it.
Nobody said it. The only report said was that talent and people in the back were mentioning how they should reach out to Kendrick's camp and try to get him on board. That's it. That was it. Was Kendrick there tonight? Where's Kendrick? How come we didn't get Kendrick? Where's Kendrick?
By the way, shout out to Sap, who publicly stated today in a thread, because he made a mention of the fucking terrible conduct that AEW's live stream chats have, because there's nothing but spam bots. Some guy was like, you see JD going off in the chat? And Sap on a public X platform on a tweet said, that is not JD. So thank you to Sap. Everybody is a fucking half-witted idiot who thinks that's me. So shout out to Sap for putting that straight. I'm sure people will forget by the time the next AEW pay-per-view comes around, but that was nice of him to do.
That was.
Marvin Malitz, 15, coming from Australia. Hey, JD, Jesse, appreciate you guys doing this review. I was just curious what the purpose of Chris Jericho is now being on AEW television. He reminds me of The Miz on WWE TV right now. He's just there. He serves no purpose, Marvin. He serves absolutely no purpose. He's just there because he cannot give up the TV time.
Well, the company needed Chris Jericho at one point when the company launched.
Yep.
And thankful for him and what he brought to the table for when the company needed him. But now it feels like that we're still paying that back in spades, and he's not ready to step away, and no one's gonna make him step away. So we just gotta deal. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. He's not ready to step down. He's not ready to call it, and he doesn't care that most of the fans are tired of seeing him.
Marvin, thank you, brother. Glowjay with a 2. I'm so tired of the Death Rider, says Glowjay. I agree. So am I. So is everybody. Theme Parks and Things with Johnny with 28 months. Thank you guys for the honesty. You guys give and respect the work you guys do. Thank you, Jesse and JD. Much love from the Don Tony and Kevin Castle community. Well, thank you, Johnny. Appreciate that, brother. We love Don Tony and Kevin Castle. 2 pros over there.
Thank you. Speaking of, reminds me, Boots from Solid Monsters crew showed up in my stream and dropped a very generous donation.
There you go. We love Boots. The Ashen Chevalier with a $5 super chat. AEW fans love the cowboy movies like Brokeback Mountain, and that's why they like Paige better. You know, I never seen that movie.
I did, but I'm not gonna lie to you because it was a gay movie. I watched the movie and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a damn good movie.
As long as it's a good story, I don't give a shit who's in it.
This is a damn good movie. They told a great fucking story. It won a lot of awards. I didn't understand why it won so many awards. So I went out and watched it, and damn good movie. Heath Ledger, fucking Jake Gyllenhaal. It was a damn good movie, man. They killed it. I liked it.
What was I watching the other night on Netflix? Let me see if I could look it up. It stars Robert De Niro. Fuck, I forgot the name of it.
You watched it though?
0 Day with Robert De Niro. It's a miniseries, 6
Yeah.
episodes. Dude, it's fucking good. It's really good.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. I was watching Running Points yesterday too, with what's her name? I forgot who's in that one. I looked it up yesterday. I don't know why I can't remember. It's fucking late. Running Points cast. This is on Netflix too with Kate Hudson. That's also very good. It's like Succession but comedy.
Okay.
It's like Kate Hudson running, being the president of a basketball team, and she's gonna make executive decisions.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a question. It's more rhetorical because I know the answer.
Yep.
Did you watch the fucking Sopranos yet?
No, I did not.
I'm positive. I'll bet the farm that anything you just mentioned to me and how great it is does not hold a goddamn candle to the Sopranos. So why won't you?
I got to make time for it.
You have to watch it.
I got to make time for it. Ashton Chevalier, thank you, brother. Hiru with a 5. Second LA pay-per-view I've gone to, and AEW mostly delivered. Main event ending was garbage. Overall good show. Still not enough to get me back to watching weekly. No, it's not. No, they got to do more to change. The feeling is not restored. There's a lot of work to be done. But we gotta celebrate when they have some minor victories, and tonight was a minor victory.
Yeah.
Gary McOngle with a 12 months. Here's to a year. Keep up the good work. Brilliant job, guys. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, brother. Mr. Team Bringer with a 199. I'm tired of wrestlers licking blood. It's disgusting. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Mog. $5 super chat coming to us from Canada. What do you think about the actress from Queen of the Ring talking about learning about predetermined finishes in her interview? What a joke. She's a clueless broad. What do you expect? She didn't know a fucking thing about pro wrestling before this movie roll, and that's what she opted to let us know about the movie. It's unbelievable.
DJ, exactly, DJ. And an Italian New Yorker at that, DJ. Exactly.
Listen,
It's fucking
I didn't know what Breaking Bad was before you told me to go watch it either, so
Were you disappointed?
I was not. It's the best show ever.
And I'm telling you to go watch The Sopranos and you're dragging your fucking feet.
All right. Listen, this is the same guy who some of his favorite movies are Casino and Goodfellas.
And go see. I mean, bro, do you have Max?
I do.
Watch The Sopranos.
I will. Poppy.
You've been saying this for years.
All right. Poppy Sensei with 16 months. JD, I DM'd you links to my band Hollow Eyes YouTube channel. Feel free to use one of the demos if you like it. Thank you, brother. I have not listened yet, but I got them. Yeah.
Me comment on that. Whoever just said to use this demo on your stream. I have a friend. He has a band. His band, his friends. And he gave me music to use on my stream. And it turns out someone else had already claimed it because they played somewhere or did something or had a deal with somebody. Make sure that music is cleared. Because I had the very same thing. A friend of mine who has a band, music still got claimed.
Yeah, YouTube is a little whacked, and people are whacked. I mean, they just start claiming shit that's not even theirs.
Yep.
Hitman 600 with a 499. JD versus Mercedes would slap. Not gonna lie. No, I'm not wrestling Mercedes. I love Mercedes. I loved Mercedes for years.
She could kick your ass.
I'm sure she could.
Let's just do it.
Jose Diaz with the 199. What's up, JD? My opinion, AEW just ain't hitting. I mean, tonight hit. It's not enough though. I'm not going to celebrate this as AEW is back, but you know their pay-per-views are genuinely very good. I mean, this is not a new thing. You expect greatness from their pay-per-views. They always deliver on pay-per-views. The weekly shows that don't hit.
Yeah, if you paid to watch this pay-per-view, you were not scammed.
No.
Okay? You got your money's worth. It was a fantastic wrestling show.
Yep.
Is it something that you should watch and then, like, you know, this person just said, go get back into the product? No, I wouldn't say all of that. No, but I would say if you were in the market to watch some fantastic fucking wrestling tonight, and you bought this, then you were not scammed. You got your money's worth.
Dorian Foley with a 1999. Hey, good morning, JD and Jesse. Hope all is well with you both. And thank you for the stream tonight. You both are a deadly combination. Love and respect you both. Skull, Jesse, says Dorian.
What I'm talking about.
Mr. Team Bring It says Walking Dead got worse towards the end. It did, but then it didn't. Season 10 with the Skinwalkers was a great season, and so was season 11.
I still have not finished. I'm with them. It did start to trail off at the end.
Yeah.
I gotta go finish.
Lucio with a $4.99. Shout out to the best in the business, JD and Jesse. Hey JD, call my boy Elijah Lopez a fucking geek for watching AEW. Elijah, you're a fucking asshole and a geek. Get with the program. Captain Solo with a 44 months and a $5 super chat. Camille would be better off in WWE. Triple H would know exactly how to use her. Imagine Camille versus Rhea Ripley. And to Jesse, are you still watching TNA, and would you consider it a better product than AEW at the moment?
I am not watching TNA. And I will not go back to watching TNA as long as that racist bitch is still working.
There you go. Silver Tower with a $50 super chat coming to us from Canada. Found out about you from the Solomonster. Love your brutal honesty, JD. Well, thank you. Some of his loyal listeners can't stand me, but thank you, Silver Tower, for coming over here. We love Jason. We'll be live on Tuesday, and I'll see him on Saturday at House of Glory. HD the King Savage with a $9.99. Keep giving us the real 100. I always will, brother. And he gives us a new membership too. So, chat, what is the King Savage fucking drinking tonight? Action Waffle with a $10 super chat. Legitimate question. How could the Death Rider storyline be salvaged and be brought to legitimacy without bailing out and dropping the story altogether? It can't. It's over. It is completely over. It ended when we had Grok write us a better storyline, Action Waffle. The AI bot on X wrote a better storyline. Keith Hobson with 11 months. Edge versus Dean Ambrose. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah. That's their main event. Michael Krause, does anyone know why the AEW title is not shown? Because this storyline is fucking trash, Michael. That's why. How could they find any investment in their world title program when we don't physically see the world title? Moxley is the world title, supposedly. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. TK is punishing the fans for not liking his Death Rider storyline by keeping the belt on Moxley. He hates his fan base. I wouldn't be surprised. He's probably laughing right now as he's fucking at the after party somewhere. Silver Tower, the new membership. Thank you, brother. Welcome to one of the best communities in the IWC. Appreciate you, man. You're going to enjoy your stay here. Lucky Death with a 10. Moxley spent years saying WWE and Vince were holding him back. But then when given the chance to prove himself, the height of his creativity is being an infinitely worse tribal chief. What a joke. That's comment of the night. I agree.
I was gonna say, that feels brutally accurate.
Yeah. On your marks, Lou, with a new membership and a $20 super chat. He says, been following you guys for a while now. Love your honest takes. Keep doing what you're doing, brothers. Thank you. Lou, that means a lot, brother.
Thank you.
Johnny Cloud, 9 with 42 months. Mercedes Moné was looking too damn good tonight. She always looks great. She's one of the sexiest women in all of wrestling. Always has been. Lazy Girl with a super chat. 2 of them, actually, from New Zealand. How many stars does Dave Meltzer give the cage match? I'm sure Dave Meltzer's going to hand out a couple of 5 stars on this show. For sure. He's going to hand out a couple of 5 stars, no doubt about it. Steel Cage probably get 5 stars, and Ricochet, Ricochet and Swerve will get 5 stars. I wouldn't be surprised if Kenny Omega gets 5 stars with Takeshita. Honestly.
I'm amazed how many people are on the Dave Meltzer doesn't know what he's talking about anymore deal. I mean, which is well deserved. The guy's eating some serious L's as of late.
Yep.
But they still hang on what he thinks and how many stars he gives out to matches. Why do you give a shit?
I don't know. It's crazy.
Why does anybody give a shit? You don't care what he thinks. You don't care what he reports. Why do you care what he thinks about a match?
I don't know. It's a good question. And Lazy Girl will end with this $8.99 coming to us from New Zealand. Appreciate your work, guys. All the way from New Zealand. JD from New Zealand. Unless with the tech. This is my daughter's account. Also, who is Guantanamo Bay these days? Wardlow.
He's still in prison.
He's still in Guantanamo Bay, yeah. Guys, that is it. We're getting out of here. Jesse, any final words before I rev up the Dark Horse and sleep away my Monday until Raw? Yeah, I'm going to bed. I got to get out of here, man. This is crazy, man. But you guys were killing it tonight. 3,200 in the OTS venue tonight. Another 10,000 views on X. Holy shit, man. You guys fucking killed it tonight. Love it, love it, love it. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out all the other content on the channel. There will be plenty of content for all the new subscribers. Thank you very much. That is for you. Content aplenty. We'll be live on Monday night. Monday Night Raw from Madison Square Garden, right in my backyard. Punk and Rollins steel cage match. Leopoldo with a 10. Just to thank you for staying up late. Only to see a 10-year-old member turn heel at 3 a.m. no less. If it makes you feel better, at least he's still doing, we're still adding to the algorithm. Get some rest, guys. You earned it. Absolutely. I will see you guys on Monday for Raw. See you guys later.